Morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good afternoon's trading. Maybe some of you have traded some of Globex overnight. Before we get into the charts, I do talk about this a lot, but make sure you're doing it. Go through your morning prep, even before you get to these charts, right? Have you had your tea or your coffee or your water? Have you done your visualization or your morning meditation or gone to the gym or even gone for a walk? Whatever is part of your morning routine, I cannot tell you the importance of sticking to that morning routine, or maybe for you it's an afternoon or evening routine, but you have to be sticking to that routine. All right, as always, we're going to start off on the daily. We are starting off with an outside bar, which is good news. All right, so yesterday set the tone. So far, we've drifted outside. This right here, this volume profile we're looking at right here, is pinned to this all-time high. All right, and I want you to just take note of the amount of liquidity we have built in here. All right, we have another level down here. We're basically split into two halves here. All right, and we are struggling to find acceptance over 26,000. We are struggling to find acceptance underneath 25,200, and we are starting to build a huge amount of liquidity between 26,000 and 25,600. All right, so sort of 400-point range in here. And the rest of the time we're in range here. No acceptance outside either side of it. All right, so we're coming back to test this same level. Now we do have Bollinger Bands which are starting to trade upside, all right, and a 5-day which will need to turn around. It would take a couple of days after what happened last week. And if we do that, we can go back looking for this again. All right, so what are the opportunities today? We want to be very careful, don't we, as we come towards this edge where we keep failing and we had a look above and fail. All right, we want to be very careful. If we measure from that look above and fail to the low, right, we can see we're right in the golden pocket. We're right in the edge of the value area high based on that pin from October 30th. All right, so we want to be careful thinking about longs up here. All right, the location is not ideal for longs. We are in a range. However, if we start to break out and hold above and base, there is an argument for this now to be a long, same as we had here. This time it failed, all right, but we failed the lows, we're back up. All right, so there's an argument for this move here, right? There is an argument for it. You want to be very careful for this move here back down again. So we're going to need to look for location and momentum. We're going to have to respect the range that we're in. The best way to do that is move down into the hourly charts. Let's move this up a little bit just so we can get a bit more depth on here. Okay, so this is the current week developing profile. You can see when we say we're not on an inside daily bar, but we are most certainly inside the previous week. All right, here's the previous week value area high. Here's previous week value area low. Here's previous week point of control. These are our key levels. It is as simple as that. We are going to respect them. So we expect, right, 26,100. There we go. You got it out eventually. All right, to be resistance. We expect that to potentially reject. Now, if we break above and reclaim that, we have some liquidity here. You can see it's much, much thinner. So I'd say over 150s and the squeeze is on. All right. So a hold of 100 or a hold of, 100, a break of 150 and the squeeze is on. All right. A look above 100 into 150 even and a fail. And we would expect that to be a failed break above the previous week and a rotation, probably back down into sort of these 800s. Okay, so we're watching that. Traps, all right, traps can live. We can see we've had 3 drives here. We want to be very, very careful. 1, 2, 3, right? Bullish traps can live underneath this swing. I want you to be aware of that. We're very thin under here. Okay, so there's 2 arguments that can happen down here. 1, we flush, we fail to reclaim, and we rotate right the way back down, repairing this thin structure. Very, very possible that we can do that. So we're going to pay close attention to these sort of 900s down to, I don't know, 800s, 850. The other option is that they come for a little stop hunt. Maybe they don't even make it all the way, and they do something dirty like this. They come in here, breakout shorts, come flying in, looking for this move here, and they go, no, F you, everyone. We just wanted your stops, and we're going back to the upside. Right? These are the areas I'm looking at, and I'm willing to play both ways. And if you're new here and you're like, well, what's the bias? What's the bias? Well, the bias is we're inside the previous week. That's the bias, right? So we're not going to say that we're going straight upside or straight downside. We're going to respect this massive node from previous week, which is also from many, many weeks before. All right, we're trading in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could even argue this one, 6, 7 weeks of volume we're trading in right now. So we're going to respect that volume. We're not going to be arrogant enough to say the market has to do this or has to do that. Right, we're going to be willing to play both sides. So the opportunities today are this, are this, are this, and are this. All right, these are the opportunities. I guess the other opportunity is it goes F you to all of us and just does that. It is possible. It is possible it could do that if it wants. All right, so that's what we're looking at this morning. These pathings here. So we're going to take big note as we come drift down into some of these. All right, I need to get a bit of a move on here. Let's have a look at what happened in Globex overnight and move this down. All right, so if we think about what we did yesterday, we reclaimed that all-important 20-day. Remember, this was lower Bollinger Band tag. This is mean reversion. This is 20-day to 5-day. We talk about that rotation a lot. Get above 5-day, holding above 5-day now, and we will wait and see. So what we had overnight was just a slow drift higher. That's all it is. So a little pullback, which held this key volume node. Asia came in, bought the bids. London sold the highs against this, in front of this old level, front running it. Back down to the 5-day, caught a bid inside London, back down to the 5-day. Again, we're watching this level here. This level here is the big over-under. All right, that's what we're watching. All right, let's move into the lower time frame, look at some of the ETFs, etc., etc. Let's get rid of this guy. Starting off with the ES, it's going to be the same story. We're very close to all-time highs here, folks. All right, very, very close to all-time highs. You can see this big shelf being developed here. It needs to get above 17s, basically. You're looking for a base above 17s on ES. Make it really, really clear. All right, every time it's come up here, it's failed. All right, and the low of that is 31. So that's your rotation. All right. If it gets above here and it can base, all right, then you're looking for that upside shot. Simple as that. If we want to have a look at that on the spiders on the cash market, same kind of story. They're probably looking for the 700s. All right, it will look exactly the same on the cash market. It looks exactly the same. So it's just a question of can they get going for that breakout over all-time highs or that breakout above the base. So we'll just put a little alert in here. Thanks very much, so that we can remember that is the high, isn't it? It is indeed. And make sure going left. Yes, okay. So we put price alert in there in case we do break out. QQQ. Same story. You can see the level we're trying to come and back test, right? This is where buyers are stuck. We must remember this on QQQ. On the cash market, we have buyers stuck here. Until we get acceptance back inside, I'd say, of 32s. All right, until we find acceptance back inside of 32s. Let's draw that out. Let's just quickly put one of these on here. Just want to make sure. Yeah, 32s is a good level. So let's put a price alert on there. I would imagine there's some gamma in here. So let's add an alert in there. QQQ 32 reclaim. Just so we've got that ready. All right, so until QQQs get inside of that, we know that the buyers are stuck up here. All right, this is the rotation. We can build this out here. This can be the head, left shoulder, right shoulder. It might need to do a little dunk. And then what happens in here becomes key. If it does this, we're going to expect bullish moves. If we come up, poke, reject, do this, then we'll come straight back downside. All right, Dixie's still trying to find a bit of a bid here. Let's just zoom out of this. All right, you can see same kind of story into a key pivot. All right, so if you were long Dixie, you should be selling a good chunk of your position now because, again, this is the same thing. So where trap buyers are. If we find acceptance in this, then you get a continuation squeeze. But at the moment, you want to be selling some of your Dixie into that move. We can have a quick look at metals. All right, we are looking for a trade upside here and then to resell into for failed follow through. So we're getting close. So I'm interested in this kind of move here to see if buyers get stuck and we get a retest of somewhere down towards these lows is what my expectation would be on the metals. Same here, same kind of move for any of you trading metals. All right, this is your standard first bounce, right? There's your trap, there's your big flush moment. We expect to drive somewhere into here ideally and then a resell down and you're taking some profits there. And if you get the continuation, fantastic. Okay, VIX. I've really got to get a move on here. Still in the channel or just outside of the channel, still finding a bid in the low teens. So pretty positive there for VIX. Looks pretty good. All right, Apple started to find a bid yesterday. Let's have a look here. Slight gap down on Apple. We'd be watching this pivot into here to hold 65s to hold on Apple. 65 holds, then we look good for continuation. Amazon, same kind of story, bit of a gap up. This is the same pivot, all right, that we're looking for at Apple. The one that held yesterday, you're looking for that same hold today. It might undercut it and do that. That's fine. What you don't want is for Amazon to lose that and snap all the way down. Goog, let's have a look at the Goog. Remember, some of these got earnings this week. Goog, big drive up, anticipation for earnings which are coming this week. Maybe we can pull back and hold 45s and continue higher. It looks like they're pricing in earnings nice and early. Very, very similar to last week. We priced in earnings early and then sold it off. Meta being priced in early. There you go. There's the big move on Meta. We can think about that. You can think about this whole move, right? Are we pulling back? Yeah, still very, very bullish, right, on Meta. I'm still long Meta, looking to see if we can get up into these 760s right now. Microsoft, that looks terrible. Very well might undercut here. So Microsoft's got two opportunities here. One, little trap down here, or two, what it looks more like 1, 2, starting to fail and continuation lower. If we're going to look lower, we can have a little look. We might even come down all the way down into this little zone here into the low 400s. I will be looking to scoop some on Microsoft if we move too much lower, because that is a big move off the highs now. Yeah, 24%. If we can get down into here. What date was that? Feb. Yeah, I'm interested in that. If it comes too much lower, it will hurt my interest. Nvidia. We're still in the dance in Nvidia, looks by the looks of it. Yeah, still in a sideways dance, coming to the lower side of the range. It's got a pivot down here. That looks messy. Not something I'll be touching right now as a day trade. Tesla. Still in its range. It's starting to potentially build out more of a base here now. So it might have just walked this up. Didn't lose this shelf. So if they can hold 22s, you're looking for a drive up to 40s. If they lose 22s, probably a flush down to take out those lows at 14s. We can have a quick look at some of the rest of the market. Netflix, still waiting to see if we can come down into these 70s would be ideal. And AMD, big drive yesterday, earnings on the way. Let's see if it takes out these pivot highs. Very, very possible in these markets. Palantir obviously got going this morning off earnings as well, folks. All right, so that should have you pretty much covered. Zoom this in. There we go. All right, guys, so this is the level that I'm interested in, this grey box down here. All these boxes up here. All right, I don't really want to trade between this. So if we come down here and we wash and reclaim, I want to get long. If we come down here and lose this grey box, then there's an argument for a drift down to 700s and 600s. All right, that's what we are looking at here this morning. Please do me a favor, smash that like button nice and early so I don't have to talk about it anymore. Let's get this up. We've got a couple minutes left. We have news coming at 10 o'clock. We should say that before I forget as well. News coming at 10 o'clock. Job openings. All right, job openings delayed due to shutdown. Okay, maybe we're not getting them then. We will see. This government, what a joke. What a joke. Yeah, that's why. That's why the news disappeared from the calendar. What can you do, eh? I don't remember a time when we went into 2 potential shutdowns. Hopefully they won't do it as long as last time. It was ridiculous. Last time went on far too long, didn't it? Far, far too long. Yep, you're right. They're saying they're not going to release jolts. You're absolutely right. Okay, so watching this morning, I'm going to watch these 870s and 825s are the levels I'm watching. And if we start losing 825s and failing to reclaim it, we can get down into 700 and 600. I'm just drawing this out on my screen. Make sure I've got a node marked out for 7s in case we want to take this trade down lower side. Okay, team, good luck. Here comes the open. 10 seconds. There's grey box key, remember. Keep an eye on that. Big, big level. Here comes the drift. Morning drift down. Globex into these 900s. See if we can trade any lower than this. Would be nice. Gap fill on previous day high would be all the way down here at 860s. Previous day point of control 72s, previous week point of control 60s, previous day close 50s, previous day value area low 825. So looking for a little snap into here and then see if we can trap sellers. Ideally they come a bit lower than what they are at the moment, but here we go, maybe not. Mixed bag on the mag. Nvidia just gone red to green. They're starting to find a bid already here. I'm watching this very, very carefully now into previous day value area high. If they get acceptance over this, then technically speaking, we can drift up here. It's not the ideal setup. We want to be buying from down here, ideally. Right, that New York open, right at New York VWAP. Yes, nice drive off Globex right into its VWAP to start the day there. Not getting through VWAP or previous day high yet. Ideally, we want to be thinking about moves down here. Trying to be patient, let it come down to those levels. Here we go. This is looking better. All right, perfect. Let's see how we act when we get down here now. So coming towards previous day point of control, previous week point of control. Can we trap some sellers? Lots of selling happening down here. I'd like a bit of a shove lower first. Can we swipe a bit lower first? Here's previous day point of control coming up, almost there. Come on, you got to come lower first. Liquidity lower. Is there liquidity lower? Lots of liquidity lower. We should come lower here, please. Please come lower. Don't just shove it straight back up yet. Back to these 900s. They're reselling 900s. Hopefully we break lower now. Not in the short, guys. I'm waiting to see how we act once we get into these key levels that I'm looking at. Some of you might have taken that short down here, which is fine. That's just not what I'm looking for. Finding a reaction off there so far. Come on. Further down, please. Fill all these guys down here. Here they come. They're coming for them now. All right, so watching ES as well for gap fill potential. Getting close. Starting to perk my interest now. Nice. Here we go into these areas, and we'll see if we trap down here or even under the area. If not, if we stay heavy and reject it, I'm happy to play that short further down. Not quite a gap fill. QQQ almost there. SPY not there. VIX has filled its gap as well. So the ES and the SPY relative strength here on this flush down. Right, gap now filled. PDC now tagged. So anything left, previous day value area low, and we have this shelf at the bottom of this grey box. Now, do we trap under this shelf, or are we going to fail under and give it back? So there's a couple options here. Either we're going to do, we talked about this pre-market, we're either going to do one of these and a straight flush down, or we're going to do some nasty little trap and do this run back up. I'm happy to play either. I'm just going to let it tell me what it wants to do. But this is the area where I'm interested in trading in and around here. So coming right into higher time frame algo, previous day value, area low, waiting to see if sellers start to get stuck down here, which is starting to happen. Already starting to see an acceleration back up. I'm long now, trimming some straight away because there's sellers here at 75. See if we can get acceptance through 75 and 80s. Big imbalance into 80s, so trimming a little bit more, see if there's a squeeze through it. Here's the imbalance into 80s. Stop moving up to previous week point of control. Out there on the run up. See if they retap lower now. Oh, you fucking dirty bugger. How many days in a row are they going to tap me out and do it? You dirty, dirty bugger. Oh my gosh. It is funny. It is funny. All right, they're still adding liquidity down here at 25s. Watching this. That is funny. All right, some big sellers have come in down here. Trying to force a break lower. ES is trying to reclaim New York Open. We're just dancing between previous week point of control and previous day point of control around here somewhere right now. This is slightly off, I think. This is, what have we got this here? 72s, somewhere like that. And value area low down here. Traps can be under here. It can also be a big flush down to here if they stay heavy. So I'm willing to play both sides. Nvidia selling like crazy. Not really. It's 0.82% down. That is definitely not selling like crazy. It's lost $1.54. It's no, that is not a crazy sell. Nvidia can move $10+ very easily. Okay, still waiting to see if they trap or flush low. They're still adding liquidity lower at the moment. So maybe one more flush down before they do something else with it. Back to this gap fill. Maybe they come and trade into these 26s. We do have lots of resting orders down there. And they're looking for these resting orders into 25s now. Here they come. They're looking for this move into previous day value area low. This is where the traps will live, under here. Otherwise, if we stay heavy, retest stay heavy, I will be playing short side down to 700 and 600. But if we trap down here, I will be willing to look for longs. Let's see, folks. Gap now filled on the ES, not quite filled on the spiders, but it's close. Gap filled on the ES, not quite filled on the spiders, but it is close. Right into value area low from yesterday. Okay, so we're watching this shelf now. Remember, zoom out. If we lose this shelf, they can trap. If they want to trap down here, they will. If they want to do, let me draw it for the team. Remember, we talked about this pre-market. Please let me draw it for the team. I'm running out of time. All right, the trap will be something like this. The continuation will be a fade back down to this. All right, these are the opportunities right now. If they just do a straight flush 100 points down, there's bugger all can do with it. So see if they trap down here or not. Selling still coming in for now. And they're adding liquidity lower to 800. So they might want a deeper wash here by the looks of it. What is that? Oh, it's YouTube. OBS. Can you guys still hear me? OBS. Give me an alert there. Hopefully you can still hear me. All right, reclaim a value area low here. No follow through underneath. Buyers are trying to step in here. Can they force a squeeze back up is the question. They're trying. They're trying to reclaim. Very, very tentative here watching this. Buyers need to break 850s really. Otherwise, they can be still downside. They are trying to come in here, though, the buyers. I don't think they're doing a very good job right now. They're going to need to get it above 850, and then we can think about what's what. SPY filled its gap now. So we have efficient markets now. What are we going to do? Are we trapping to go back higher, or are we going to see that continuation? Still adding liquidity at 800s. I think they still want to come into these 800s. There you go. They're trying to force to fill these players down at 800s. There are some old imbalances down there. There are actually some imbalances down at 68 and 55 if they really want to go a bit deeper down into here. So how we act now in this grey box will be key. If we trap enough shorts down here and the buyers come and reclaim, passive buyers step in and reclaim, then you'd expect an upside move. If we push and fail, then we're going to expect 700s. So waiting to see if we start to clear 50s or not. So far, pops are starting to fail here this morning. Can they get back above 40s and 50s for a potential squeeze back up? VPOC on the session, currently 65. So reclaim that will be some serious strength. Am I still long? No, of course not still long. I told you the level I was long, I told you the partial, and I told you where my stop was. I'm still waiting now. Waiting to see if we break 45s and start to go squeezy. Looks like they still want these 800s. Here we go. All right, tapping into 45s. No acceptance through it yet. Buyers got caught on that last shove up. Sellers still want to cover into 800s at the moment, and someone has just started to add way more size down at 85. So they're trying to drag this market lower now. Still waiting. No way I'm going to front run this. If they can't reclaim, then we can go and fill all these imbalances, which we are now starting to do. $800 break will lead to 770, 750, and then 700s. Big seller at 25s now. So they're being a bit more aggressive on the tape here this morning with the sells. They're starting to really step in and try and hammer it. Maybe 7s as possible. That retest is not enough for me to take short. No way. This feels too trappy down here for me to even consider that. Big buyer came in at 805 there. We do have excess on this low for the first time today. Big seller stepping in here at 810s. I'm interested at the moment. This is a battle starting to develop down here. All right, 10s got filled. Adding liquidity 780, 770, yeah, 775s. Buyer currently is trapped at 804. 804 and 809 are the first key levels for buyers to reclaim. Otherwise, we're going to keep washing because they keep coming in and unsuccessfully driving highs. Have a look at the mag. Still in a wash. Here comes the 75. So the next lot of imbalances down here. Got a feeling we're going to trap here. It's just when. Back to value area lows, the 15s again. We're back above that buyer who got caught at 5s. Value area low currently 20s. I'd say a reclaim of 30s now can start to trigger more upside. Not just a tap into it, an actual reclaim. Still trading between these levels. 75 still looking to get filled here. These sellers looking to cover into 75. Let's see if they're legit or if they just spoof and drop it. No, straight through them all. They got smacked. Absolutely smacked. Okay, so 700s it is. Right back down to 700s. That is not a retest that I can short. That is a horrible move. Cannot short that. That is a shame. That's fast moving. Oh, great. And now Bookmap can't even keep up with the data. Thanks, CME. Well, that's useful. That must have been too quick for the market because even CME can give me data for Bookmap. There we go. It's coming back now. All right, 725s. Into this grey box like we talked about. That is not a retest for me to short. That is a horrible, horrible move. Nothing I can do with that. This would have been nice if they actually built out some structure. If they built out something like this for us to fade down into here. But that is, there's nothing I can do with that, folks. No, nothing missed there. That's not a trade setup. They're still selling this, still buyers. There's a 200 lot here at 25s. They're still not done with this yet. Where did that big seller came in and what was his size? 430 lot came in at 75. So that's going to be the level. That's going to be the level. This is the pullback. We can measure this pullback from the low as well. We can remember this can still be the inverse right shoulder. We're into, well, 50% pullback would be all the way down into 600 still. Just make sure you're zoomed out. Think about what we're doing here. We talked about this morning. This right here, okay. We can build out liquidity. We can wash these guys. If they reclaim this, we will go higher. It is possible we come right down into this, but this node here is important. We marked it out for a reason. This gray node, this gray node, this gray node. This is where we're finding a bid right now. We have not really back tested any key level yet. For me, we've not back tested anything yet. Yeah, there was a data issue there, for sure on that big lot. When that 400 lot came in, it was 165 lot. He actually chased. He went 65, 165, 326, and 206. All right, we're coming back to where he was. All right, so 73s is the level. Watching this, if they start to reclaim, there's a squeeze and a back test towards the 800s here, which is what we're starting to do. Starting to see this lift a little bit. So big sellers started to come in here like we talked about, the 73s. So if they resell, we'll go lower. If they are done with it, then you'll see a bid back up now towards the 800s. So 73s, this is where the sellers came in. 73s, where's that? 73s, this is where they were in before. We can see it on Bookmap. They started at 73, well, they started at 809s all the way to 73. So watching this now for the counter trend back up. Here we go. Moving up with this now as we start to drift in towards the 800s. And if we start to reclaim, buyers got trapped at 803s. So if we get through 803s, there'll be a back test of the grey box above. So we might well come back up into here, right? 803s is a big level. 803s right here. If we get through that, there's a back test of that. We can build liquidity out between this, or they can be extra dirty and have done a 100-point swipe and reclaim. So long in this at the moment, small size. I'm going to use the guy at 54 as my stop because he got trapped at 54s. Here we go. Watching this is the first time I've been long today. Peeling some off into these 800s, in front of 800s. Here we go. Lovely. All right. Through the buys now. This is strong. So we're watching for previous day value area low to see if we find acceptance back through this now. So long from down here, trimming some into flow zones through the 83s. We are now watching to find if we back test and find acceptance through or not. You can see where the buyers came in, right? We want to be careful. This is where the buyers came in, right? We're going to sell most of our profits into here. If we reclaim all this, we've got room to go. So stuck where those buyers came in, peeling most of my profits off there. Okay, let's see how much we can lift now. So I would say sellers are stuck under 54s. So as long as buyers protect 54s, and if they reclaim the 800s, there is upside shot here. Here's 800s. So we're watching for reclaim of previous day value area low now. Into this grey box. This is the first retest of this grey box. So they can resell up into here, remember. They can absolutely resell up into here. And our buyers stepping up. This is a big, deep trap this morning so far, and it will confirm as a trap if we get over all of this. We can watch VWAP and previous day value area low. Come on, lift it. Lift it, lift it, lift it. Watching these flow zones, they might very well resell this area. This is where the big buyers came earlier, where we are now. The next node we've got to get through is 830. Through 830s, we can trade 865s. So watching 830s, they might very well reject this. This is where buyers got caught. I will stay long as we are able to protect 755-ish. Under that, I will cut. And there is liquidity lower still, so we haven't pulled back and held yet. So if they hold anywhere from 76s down to 55s, I'll feel good that we might go for a re-squeeze here. If they can't hold, nothing you can do. So there's the tap into 76s, there or thereabouts. Good hold so far. Back to point of control. We're building out volume down here. We need to find acceptance through this to drift up into here. Big area here where the buyers got stuck. Can we trade through it? Can we start to reclaim? Back to 76s. Remember, 76s to sort of 54s is where buyers will need to hold. Failing to hold that, we will move lower. ES back inside its PDC. ES doing a good job here. Q's slower. Microsoft weak today. Waiting to see if we can get back into that grey box or not. Back into these sort of 76s. Under here, it'll probably go 54s for a check. So we have to see if they can hold here or not. So we've filled 76s. Only next level it can protect now is 54s. Under that, there will be a new low of day. So coming back down to test those 54s now by the looks of it. There you go. And about to be stopped out. Out. And potentially new low of day here. Cannot rule out a new low of day here, folks. Cannot rule it out. And if they break under this, then all the way down here is possible. If they break under this grey box, all the way down here. So I had a go at it. Give it a time to settle down for a minute now. Staying heavy here, though. QQQ into its 20-day as well. Man, we're right back to the mean. This is awful. This is awful. All right, well, if they don't hold this node, then we should drift all the way back down to 600. If they've just wicked me out again, I'm going to be very upset. Well, you know why you've got that wrong? You hate these weird trend days with no structure, right? Your first part of you getting that wrong is the first bit, trend day. We're not in a trend, guys. I don't know how many times I have to say this on stream. Zoom out. Where's the trend? We're in a range. We're in a giant range. We've been in a giant range since the 5th of November, right? We're in a giant range. They are protecting these lows. They washed me out from 54s. They traded 10 points deeper. Buyers are now caught at 85 up to 809. So I'll wait to see if we get back above that. No, I'm not sure, Ali. No, I left the short today. I was waiting to see if we'd offer a trap long here or here. I took this long here. I'm out now. I'll wait to see if we want to come back into here and reclaim. If we start to offer this squeeze here, I'll look for the longs. If we do this, there'll be a short back down into here. I'm stalking this now for longs. And I think we might very well trap today, but we will see. They're going to have to get back through 85s and 810s for me to be interested. I was willing to play short outside of that grey box if we did a nice retest, and we didn't. We just didn't. Right? If we'd done this, I would have been short down into here. We talked about this pre-market, but this I can't short that. I mean that you can't do anything with that. It's like a 70-point candle without a retest of anything. There's just nothing you can do with it. It's just one of those. That's why I hate ranges, because unless you get the very top or very bottom of the range, this is what happens. We're building out a ton of liquidity down here now. Still building out. This thing's still building out. And it's still got to fill the guy at 700. 164 lot sat down there. Well, Delta's in line. There's nothing wrong with the Delta. I'm looking at Delta on a 5-minute. It's pretty normal. Okay, more big sellers coming in. They're trying to get down to 700 by the look of it. trying to get down into here. If they lose this, then we have this all the way down here. That would be a full rotation for the second day in a row. So, be nice if market makers could make their mind up and move us out of these channels on the daily, because I don't like trading these edges. So I'm not going to have much to do this year if this is all we're going to do. All right, back into this grey box. They're looking for 700. Like I said, there's 165 lot down here. Here they come into this guy at 700. If they lose this, we have previous week close down at 669. Previous week close 669. Previous day value area low all the way down at 605. So we would have, and then previous week value area low at 72. So we would have rotated almost a full week, one full week yesterday and a full week today as well if we get down into these sub 600s. It's mental. I mean, at least you got volatility here. All right, 700 stacking, 230 lot. They will fill this guy. He's just stacking up here. They probably wash through him. Here they go. So he's just been filled. He's got 100 left. They're going to fill in. There's no way they leave all that. Surely you don't leave all that. He's rebidding here at 700. I cannot imagine they leave all of this. Big, big selling coming in down here, folks. And probably going to get to previous week close if they trade under it, which is 670s. This grey line. So we know massive sellers came in at 700. Huge, huge, huge sellers came in at 700. Here come the towards the 670s. Here's 670s incoming. 700 a big level if they reclaim that now. And SPY into its 5-day. Almost into that 670s. It's 85s. They probably should come for 670s now at this point. I'm kicking myself. Didn't just absolutely attack that. I mean, the daily just looks so bad. So bad on the daily. It's insane. All right, previous week close at grey line now tagged. There or thereabouts. There's still liquidity lower. They're still adding liquidity lower right now. This is pretty mad how they're operating here. It might come right down into here. Edge of current week value. It's mental. Oh, should I have faded that pullback? Maybe. I would have rather faded in here. We're missing levels. ES is being very, very well behaved by comparison. Very, very well behaved. Don't want to get long in this unless there's a reaction down here. Not going to trade in no man's land. The reason I'm being patient this morning now, just to have that one attack, you have to understand what we are doing here. We went straight up. We built liquidity. I was waiting to see if they'd trap here for the fade. No. I was willing to do a retest for the fade. No. We've just gone straight down. There's not a lot I can do with that, folks. And we're coming back into this node down here now. This edge. If we lose that, then we're just going to give back everything that we did yesterday and more. And if you want to talk about the daily, well, we talked about this. Those of you saying trend day, no, there's no trend, guys. I don't know what to say. I don't know how many days I start by telling you we're in sharp, all right, and fail breakout, fail breakdown. This is not a trend. Any of you are looking for a trend in here, I don't know what you look at when you look at the screens to identify a trend, but we're certainly not in a trend. All right, coming down to previous week value area low now. Oh, could I have faded the 8s? Probably. Probably a coulda, woulda, shoulda day so far. VIX starting to really get going. 17's break on VIX will be dangerous. More buyers coming in down here. They might get themselves caught because I don't think we're done with it yet, but we're thin now all the way back up to here, up to 740s. So I'll be watching these 600s. There's so many imbalances underneath as well from where we ripped yesterday. There's so many imbalances down here still. Jesus Christ. No bounce to fade. And now we're already at target. Yeah, exactly, Taylor. That's literally exactly it. We've been ranging since November 5th, basically. Everything since there has just been a range build out. Okay, so into current week, value area low developing. Previous week, value area low down here. To make sure that's right. Yeah, that is. So into the blue box, this would be a cover point. If you took that short from there, fair play. That's a big trade. That's a big trade. All right, we know buyers keep getting stuck down here into 650s. They're not done with this, folks. They're coming right down for that previous week value area low. There is a ton of imbalances in here, like I talked about. So previous week open here into 86s. They are not done with this. They're just not done with it. 20-day coming up on the ES. VIX absolutely going mental right now. Turbo time on the VIX. And I've probably lost all opportunity to do something now. Definitely short side. No retest of this grey box. No retest of this. Just a straight. Once they're done with it, at the moment, they are selling it like 200 plus points without any form of retracement to get involved in. So we're about to hit the last target here. Previous week value area low. The only thing you could look at now is 365. So I guess there's room for that. But we would now be shorting in discount. It's just, they're taking away my trades right now. This is a frustrated man. Very frustrated man right now. Previous week open just tapped then. Still imbalances all the way down to 530s right now. Can't do anything. I cannot do anything with this. It's so unfortunate. This is why I flipping hate ranges when they don't retest properly. ES has been very good, I will tell you. If you traded ES today, this is what you want to see, right? This is what you want to see. Proper structure built out, a proper retest of a level and a fade. Like, that is good. Like, what we're getting on NQ is shite. That is shite by comparison. It is what it is. Just one of those days. All right, into previous week, value area low. No news today because the government shut down. Fantastic. No news. Previous week open now tagged. We now have a liquidity shelf being built out down here. Why does this look so bad today? I don't know, but there is a liquidity shelf down here into 59s. I would say buyers got trapped 616s and 651s, so sellers in control all the time. We're below those areas. Oh my God. We're just going to keep selling, guys. I'm not going to be able to trade. I can already tell. The trades have gone. The locations have gone. This is going to be one of those days I'm going to get nothing, absolutely nothing. Oh, my days. One scalp, and that was it. Right, into these imbalances. Previous day opens the next spot into 30s. VIX is flying. There is absolutely nothing I can do with this. Oh, my days, my days, my days. See if they protect 600 here. Back to 600. If they squeeze through this, there's a lift of 50s potentially. Certainly 20s is a level. Watching 20s here. Through 20s. If they go through 20s, we're going 50s. Here's the relief. Up we go through the 20s. Piece of this. Can we get to 50s? Here we go. It's where the buyer's trapped up here at 50s. So little scalp there. That's all I could do, folks. That's all I've got from blue box for a little scalp up to here. Terrible. Terrible. It's all I've been offered right now. I can only trade what's in front of me. I'd much rather have got a retest on the short somewhere. All right, it might be. If we get through 50s, they can lift it up to here would be the next spot. I know, guys. I know. There's always tomorrow. It's just the reason it's frustrating is because we were prepared, right? What did I talk about pre-market? Either they're going to trap under here and do one of these, right? Or we want to see liquidity built out to come down to this and this, right? And they just didn't. They just didn't offer it, and they just didn't offer it. I was ready for it, and they just didn't offer it. So it's just frustrating. That's all it is. It's not a big deal. It's just frustrating. It's a very dramatic straight down move as well. Might not look like enough, but that's like 200 plus points, even from here to here, without any real build out. 250 points. All right, into the top of this level, then 650. If they lift through this, then you've got value area low into 70s. The big level that sellers sold is 700s. There's big selling into 700s. Better than nothing. Yeah, I guess it's better than nothing. It's still, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Not a lot. Take it on the chin. That's all you can do. Just take it on the chin. Okay, so they can't get through the 50s. They're reselling this back to that shelf we just had at 600. And if they sell through 600, we still have imbalances, right? At 62s, at 550s, at 540s, at 530s. There's still imbalances, and they can still come all the way down here. But like I said, I'm not going to short right now because we are right in discount, right? We're in discount of the current week. We're in discount of the previous week. I don't want to be short here. I wanted to be short in premium if it offered me the trade. It just didn't offer me the trade. Maybe Muggins here missed it. Still going lower this. They still want lower. They are not done. I'd say 600 is a big over-under right now. There they go. They're going for lower. They're coming for these imbalances. There is some excess down here. I think they're going to increase this excess. Previous day open maybe into 530s. Here they come. So first lot of imbalances filled. Here they come. 550s the next imbalance. Then we talked about 540s and then 534 and previous day open 530s. And then maybe all the way down in here. You can't rule it out. We're in a big sell day. Big sell day. Imbalances, it's just where the market has moved too quick. So if we look left here, see this big flyer from 9:30 yesterday, we're coming back and filling that in. So all those orders who were left there, all the gaps that were left there, we're filling that in. It's where prices skipped. Prices skipped through. All right, some buyers trying to step up here. I still think we probably move lower at this point. Don't think they're done with it. Down here, maybe. Big buy came in here at 60s, right? 61s. There's a big buy at 61s. So all the time he's out of placement, let's call it, he's in trouble. So if we get back through 61s, then maybe they can visit 70s. But so far, that buyer at 61s has been caught. Here's the test of that buyer. Still caught so far. Still caught so far. Still caught so far. They're trying to get through him and lift it. Here goes the lift for that imbalance back to the value area low. We might be in here, folks. Let's have a look. Can they find acceptance now? Next level would be to squeeze back up to 600s or 96s. Here we go. Just a small counter trend play here through that 60s. Can they get up to the 600s? 96s. Back under 61s will mean a new low of day. And they're still adding liquidity at 500s. Okay, they held that well. Can they lift now to 600s? Very dangerous play here. But I don't want to be at short at these lows. Here we go. 600's coming. Peel some off in front of that. There we go. There we go. There we go. Lovely. Peel a bit more. All right, so if we can lift now, we're looking for 36s. They might very well sell this again. We've got sell side imbalances here at 601 and 611. So peeling some off and see if we can get through this huge move up here on a squeeze if they really want to get going. Big if, buts, and maybes. Here's the 600. So this was the first target. Point of control now moved down here as well, folks. Building around these 600. I want to see one more flush be absorbed, and then I feel pretty good. No, no flush, just a re-squeeze. They keep coming in for these imbalances at 611. So next lift would be for 50s, but I want to see a flush absorbed in front of 560s right now. Point of control now is just under 600. So big battle zone down here, and we can potentially squeeze up to 50s here. And then through 50s, we can get to 700s. It's still bearish, remember, the order flow is very bearish. I'm just trying to play the lift because I don't want to play short down here at these lows. Oh, nice, mate. You got 937. Let me have a look. 937. I don't even have it. Look at the gaps I have in these charts. Wow. So right at that New York Open, basically. Really good, mate. But you only got 50 points of it. That's dirty. Sorry about that. All right, starting to build out a ton of liquidity down here in this level. This is your over-under. We can still break lower. I want you to understand we can still break all the way down into this. Absolutely can do it. Market's very heavy. I'll give you a readout. Tesla 0.20% down. Nvidia 2.5% down. Microsoft 2% down. Meta 0.58% down. Google 0.14% down. Amazon 1.70% down. And Apple 0.29% down. This might break lower here for my stop. Watching these 62s. They've got protect 60, 62s. If they do, I don't mind holding a little piece because I've already paid myself. If they break under that, I will be out because we will get a new low of day and they're going to break through it. So done with it. You fuckers, if you do that to me for the 5th time in 2 days, I'll be very upset. I actually want you to break lower at this point. I'm out of this now, folks. Not a bid on the tape here, so should break. Should break. I don't reckon these passive orders hold up very well. I think the break's coming. Here it comes. They're coming for the lows. Down into here is possible if we break this now. There's no lift high enough for me to feel good about shorting at the moment. Maybe just me. It's just not high enough for me to feel good. I need a big shove up, a good couple hundred points for me to think about shorting back into. All right, next lot of imbalances filled again down here. All right, so we just tap some of those imbalances straight back to the 60s again. Do they resell the 60s? I'm not going to resell the 60s. There's just no way I'm selling down here. Far too dangerous. I think there's a good chance we break lower. I'm just not. I don't feel comfortable selling these 60s. Not when we've moved from 900 to 500 already. We've done a 400-point move already without any notable pullback. These are not notable pullbacks, folks. These are not notable pullbacks. These are nothing burgers. All right, sellers coming in here at 50s. Buyers trapped at 60s. So 50s and 60s, big level now. And they are adding liquidity lower and lower and lower and lower, trying to tug this market down. Previous day open is 5:30, by the way. ES has already tapped it. It's already done the move. There we go. Coming up. Previous day open now. So they should now try and run down into here if they can't hold previous day open. Remember, 60s is the level where buyers came in. They're currently underwater at 60s. 50s is the level where the most recent seller came in. So back towards these 60s. If we lift through 60s, then we can go back to 600s again. I don't know if I'm going to have another go at this, folks. It just feels very heavy on the tape. And we've got someone playing games, adding liquidity lower and lower and lower and lower and lower each time. So I don't really want to get caught the wrong side of it. Any levels to go short? Yeah, I mean, they're all the way up here for me. This is what I'm saying. I need a lift up. I want to play a play up here to then re-short down. I don't want to short down at previous week value area low. Remember, this is deep in discount. It seems to be that we're just going to keep going lower and lower and lower and lower. But I'm definitely not going to be the guy shorting the previous week value area low. So back to these 60s like we talked about. The buy keeps getting stuck at these 60s and they cannot get through it. And they've just added more liquidity again into 25,500. So it feels like they want to come for 500 right now. Let's see if VIX pulls back in bases into 17s here. $60s still the level. Still they can't get through the 60s. Buyers are still stuck at these 60s. I've said it a million times. Big bid down at 500s. There's the 60 lift. Okay, let's watch here. Previous week value low. If we squeeze through this, I'll think about joining. All right, small piece joining then. Fuck it. Into previous week open here. Let's see if we can go back to VPOC 600. Can we get into 600 or not? We are trying. There's a chance of a break here if they start to really start motoring. Here's VPOC. So this is the move into 600 we just talked about. They've got to get above all of this, remember, for any of this to be meaningful. So it's just a scalp until then. The buyer at 500 has stepped up a little bit into 525. He's added a 400 lot there now. And anything long here is counter trend on the day. Sellers are stuck under 550 right now. Buyers came in at 560. So you'd want 560, 550 to hold if you're going to hold any long position here. I'd be very skeptical about holding. Very skeptical. And there's someone bidding and pulling and bidding and pulling. That's what's worrying me. Here you go, straight back down. There is someone absolutely playing games here. I'm not joking when I say that. All right, good hold of 60. And they've added a 400 lot at 20 though. They have added a 400 lot at 20. Look at these guys flashing and pulling. What are you doing? Fucking weirdos, mate. $60s still holding here. 60s and 50s, big level, still holding. Catching a bid on SPY? It's early to say, but it's trying. It's trying to find a bid around its 20-day right now. 60s and 50s is the level, right? 60s is where buyers came in. We've got to get back above the 600s, though. So 60s and 50s is the level. I'm not in this at the moment. I'm now waiting again. Don't like these guys flashing on the tape. I don't want to see another, 80-point shove straight back down because these guys are flashing and pulling. Look at this on the tape. I don't know if anyone's watching the Bookmap. This is ridiculous what's going on here. Remember, we are in a sell right now, and we are starting to lose this blue box. So we want to be careful because this will turn red if we can't reclaim it. There is a 400 lot at 520, so I'm very, very aware of that. Okay, back to previous week value area low again. VPOC on the day is up at 600. We really don't get too much strength for a counter trend move until we get above 600. And this big seller coming back in here, 123 lot. He's adding 155 lot. He's adding another 50 lot. He's trying to force us down under the 60s to get to the 50s that he wants. And we all know there's a 400 lot at 520, and I would not be surprised if they pull it, given what I've seen so far this morning. Could I say what I'm seeing on Bookmap? Yeah. The horizontal lines of these big orders being literally flashed on and pulled and flashed on and pulled and flashed on and pulled. It's people spoofing the tape with big size. It's not a joke. There you go. It flashed at 80, pulled, and they've all come back on the books all of a sudden. At 70, 75, 80, and 90, they're now trying to lift through to get to the 600. And you're starting to see it try and pull underneath. So they're flashing 65, 60, 55. They're trying to step on the tape, and now they just pulled a lot. And then they came back on, and then they pulled a lot. Now they're back on again, and now we're going 80s. Now they're going to try and lift to get to 600s. So they are playing games in this area. Strength will come above 600, all right? Strength will come above 600. But like if we look here, all these imbalances upside, you can see they keep trying to hold this, all right? They keep trying to bid around here. If we can get back above the 600, there is an imbalance up here to fill, and then tons higher. So watching this now for triggers. Here we go. Here's VPOC on the day. Rejected VPOC straight away on that first drive. A break over 600 and we can get going. 612s is an important level. We have an imbalance there. If we get through that, we can really start motoring up to sort of 650s through that. We are thin up to 750. So I'm watching because we might, there is a chance we've repriced to 750s because we haven't had a bid up yet. So they keep testing VPOC here into 600s. Here we go. Can they lift this now through 600, 650, and then go 750s? Here's 600, 600, 600, 600, 600. Big, big level here. Yes, please. You can see this edge here of this blue box is a massive level. So what they will need to do, if they're going to lift, they're going to need to do this. All right. Otherwise, this can still be built out to get down into this. This is what you have to be aware of. Big level here, folks. Big, big, big level here. Oh, can they build above these flow zones and start to curl? Sellers keep coming in here at 90s. Still haven't filled this 400 lot, remember, at 520. I'm still going to wait and see if we can break out and above. See, this is the problem. No follow through over 600. This is why we wait. Sellers just come flying in here at 80 now, stacking up 100 lots, trying to force us down. I guarantee you, I don't guarantee it, but I reckon this guy at 520 pulls his order. I reckon it's all bullshit, and they're going to trade right down into this. That's what I reckon. Look at these guys. What is this down here? $20's coming. There you go. Let's see if he spoofs or not, though. Back into where these sellers came in at 50s, so same story. I would not be surprised to see us come down here at this point. I don't like how we're building out liquidity, though. It's very dangerous how we're building out liquidity. But it would not surprise me to see us break now. $520s is what they're looking for. Big player there at $520s. Let's see. I'm just waiting to see if he's real. Is there anyone underneath him? Yep, there is. 520s and 500s. Very bearish, guys. Here's the 20s. Look, pulled, gone. Fucking asshole. Asshole. Knew it. Just fucking knew it. Knew it. Might go 25,000. I don't think so, mate. I don't think so. Well, I mean, you're talking about a move beyond, way beyond 2 sigma to do that, to do it in one day. I mean, it's possible. You can't rule it out with how the tape looks, I guess. But I think more. Let's just talk about one level at a time before we talk about 25,000. This is the next block, right? So this is where it wants to trade into at the moment. 25,000. You're gonna, if you're looking for 25,000, you're asking for it to do a huge move. All right, and you're not going to respect, right? This is the rotation. To get to 25,000, you're asking it to come underneath the Bollinger Bands and sweep everything out. It's possible, but it's asking an awful lot of it to do that in one day. All right, here's the break. So again, we didn't build nice structure really here, but would have liked a squeeze up to be sold into for me to get a better location to get short rather than trying to short lows to go lower, but it is what it is. We are in panic mode right now by the looks of it. It's about previous day low. Yeah, right here. It's what I keep saying. Right here. It's that mark on your screen. It's there for you. It is emotional price action. I would agree with you. It feels emotional. But it's just it's a really giant range. Like, guys, all you've got to look at, I keep saying it to you guys, just look at the daily. Are we inside the Bollinger Bands? Yes. Are they going sideways? Yes. Can we get a break and hold over 26,100? No. Can we get a break and hold underneath 25,000, I don't know, 250, 300? No. So what are we in? Giant fucking range rotation. Huge range rotation. Okay, so coming to retest this. If they stay heavy here, they will reject and come down for this. If they reclaim it, these are your options now. If you're adamant on playing the short, you can look for that. If they reclaim this, there is a bigger squeeze up. It's pretty dirty what's going on here. Back to the 20-day on ES. So this is your key level now. We can see this volume shelf being built out, right? This is your over-under. Same kind of level. Big squeeze up here, right back into it. We have excess now underneath as well. So same levels we just talked about, right back to the 60s, right back to this level. Do they reshort this level to come down here, or do they get squeezed out now is what we are asking. And if they squeeze out after getting this close and not taking it, it's kind of nuts, but there you go. You had a 400 lot seller at 520, remember? It's a big lot size. So far, rejecting this box here. This needs to be red now. Sorry, folks. It needs to be like that. If we trade through it, it will become blue again. And we have imbalances here up to previous week value area low again. These are exactly the same levels we traded in before. Okay, so this is just like retesting this same level. If you're adamant on the short here, you can look for a short to trade all the way back down here. Just remember, you do not have location on your side. You do not. We've drifted over 500 points down this morning. I'm going to watch for the counter trend long today. It's the only thing I'm going to be interested in given how much damage we've done to the downside. Right, watching previous week value area low here to see if they can reclaim. ES back to 20-day again. I'm going to watch VPOC here as well. So imbalance is now back down to 520s. That's where the seller came in. So I guess there is an argument if they look at counter trend, if they bid above 520s, there's an argument we can squeeze higher. But like I said, counter trend play, hardest trade in the book. The easier trade will be if we get above 600, relief up to here, and then a resell up here somewhere would be really nice. We're back into this same congested zone. This sort of 60s and 70s gets really messy here on the tape. Starting to see some sellers get a little bit caught here at 50s right now. Buyers will need it above 75 really, and really above 600. Oh, let's see. It would be nice if we get one trade. If we can get one squeeze up and then be able to fade it, it would be nice. One squeeze up and then a fading opportunity up here somewhere would be nice. If we can get the counter trend, run all these stops out, would be nice. If we can get something like this, and then we can fade that back down as well. So if we can get this move and maybe that move would be good. Would make the day not completely worthless at that point. Back down to these imbalances. Previous days open. Remember, 20s was the level where the huge seller came in. That is a big over-under right now, I would say, in the very immediate future. Not for the trend on the day and how we develop, but for the very immediate future, that 20s level is going to be massive. If we trade under that, I would expect a new low. Legend. Thank you. They're trying to protect it so far. This is a wonky tape, man. It feels like we're going to lift here. They've got to still get through the 75s. So I guess 20 to 75 is the liquidity build. We are still rejecting this. So those of you who want the short from here, technically, all right, technically, if they fail this, you'd be a cover point. I'd cover into some into 20s and then hold if you break 20s to see if you can get all the way down into here. Technically, like we talked about, there is a short here down to 20s. If you get under 20s, you can look for down here. But do not position yourself. If I would take some off at 20s if it starts to hold 20s, just because of where the buyer is, right? I'm looking at like this here. We see this huge seller here. See this massive delta here into 20s. Big level. 400 lot seller came in there. So he is currently out of position, isn't he? Yeah, initial balance now set. Thanks, Bradley. Almost forgot to say that. Please, can we just squeeze up? Please. It's not even that I necessarily want the long, but I just cannot short down here. If we just go short all day long, I don't know what I could have done with this. Maybe could have sold these flow zones, but I really don't want to be selling, even though there's a shelf here, I really don't want to be selling previous week value area low, but just feel like it's too risky for my appetite without coming and cleaning some guys out. Right, this is where the sellers kept coming in, remember. VPOC 55s now. Still underneath VPOC. Still buyers have no control. But sellers, 520s is the big level. Here they're coming back down to those 520s again. Same level, 520s. Do buyers hold this up here? Or is it night time and we're about to break low? We're about to find out. 520s now tagged. Man, there's a 636 lot just came on the book here at 500. The games being played are by big boys right now. So they want to break lower at the moment by offering that. You want me to go to the bathroom? I can do that. You think you get relief if I go bathroom? That's funny. Okay, remember the sellers came in at 50s. 75s is a better break. We had just held 20s. See the 20 level? We just held those 20s. I've talked about it. We just held those 20s. Watching this long trigger now. If we can get back through this, especially through 75. We just held the 20s. Look at this. I just told you the 20s. For a reason. There is a reason I give you that level as 20s. It's not just like making it up as I go along. I'm actually playing what's on the book. So 20s so far holding. You might see a squeeze out here. If they can reclaim 62s now and 75s, there's a squeeze up to 90 and then 600. And then through 600, you have a lift point. Here you go, folks. Here you go. They've got a shot at this. They genuinely have a shot at this point. It's the first time today if they can hold that level that they've got shot. I tell you what, I'm going to go to the toilet. Hopefully you guys get the move once I go to the bathroom. All right, 620's break. I wouldn't be touching this long now. Not unless it reclaims that. 620's break. Did they just fill that guy down there? What size was that? 78? No. So where's the big guy gone? Hang on. Where's this spoofer gone? Where's he gone? Oh, he's disappeared. He's completely left the tape. Okay. Where here he is. He's moved down to 470. All right. We now have an 800 lot at 470. There he is. He's just come back on the tape. 470. So we've got an 800 lot down here now. Yeah, pulled it. Definitely pulled it. He's moved down. You can see him on the book. Here. Get you guys up. See, he's moved down here now. So he pulled his order. He was. This is why I like Bookmap. He was here up at 500. He's pulled it and he's added on more size at 470. So we've got an 800 lot now at 470. Do we have anyone below that? Not really. Well, we have some at 400. So that's a big order. That is not a joke. So let's see if he's legit when we trade down into him or not. Oh man, it's like sell low to go lower right now. This is probably the target, this block down here. There isn't much else I can do. Look at these candles, man. Look at these candles. Oh, it's just like yesterday. Yesterday we went straight up, didn't get the pullback I wanted to get in. Today we've gone straight down, didn't get the pullback I wanted to get in. What are you going to do? How do I know it's the same guy? Well, if he's pulling an order and putting the same size back on, then it will be the same guy. Okay, we're coming back to this 20s. Remember, 20s is your big level where the sellers came in. All right, it's a massive, massive, massive level. That's a big level. So if they protect that, they're still in control and they can look for lower. What do I think about the IB low and the squeeze back up to VWAP? I mean, it's possible, mate. Like, this is not what you want to see, right? For shorts. So it's possible something like this can happen and they reshort that. Absolutely. Head back to the 520s again here, guys. It's just how they're going to make this impossible to trade. You can already tell. They're probably going to do like a rip out of nowhere when they do it. So they've now added more size at 485. So you've got 300 lot at 485. You've got an 800 lot at 470. We're back through the 420s. We're coming towards these imbalances where we just sold down from, though. It's very hard to want to be involved down here because we're not basing and holding. This won't, I don't think this will, can I put this on? I don't think this will hold all day. I think we will clean these out and then resell down. The question is when. Do we come and clear all, do we come and take previous day low first? Do we come and do this? And then this, and then this, and then that? Maybe. Maybe we do that first, trap more balls and use the liquidity to go lower. Okay, back through the 20s, then we're going to come back for these 50s and 60s for a test again. So 50s is now VPOC right here, right? Get over this, and this squeeze is available, and then I'd imagine they will resell that. I would say we're very thin up into this, but this is a higher time frame block here. So this is possible, right? This is possible, and then probably resell it. I don't think they'll do this move here. I mean, they can be very dirty and do it. Should we put that back on for you guys? Okay, VPOC up here, 55s. We're back above those 20s again, though. We have a buyer side imbalance here at 20s now. So let's see if they can hold this now and lift through point of control. Get Bookmap back up, man. Bookmap's running slow. There must have been a lot of orders gone through this morning. Skip data on us and watching this now. Back to these 50s. we get pretty thick here. You can see it on the SVP. We get pretty thick up here. Any outliers above? Sell side 50, 53 buy side, 47 sell side. I want to get through 47 then at least. Let's go. Let's see what we can do. Next dip's got to hold 20s again. Good hold in front of 20s. Long now. Let's see them. Long now. That was the dip for me. Here we go. So through the 50s. Let's see if we can get up. Got to get back above VPOC. Don't want to keep failing here. Want to lift through 55s to get to 75. And then I want to lift through 75 to get to 600. 55. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Come on. Step on the gas. Don't make me trim here, you fucks. At least get me 75s. I really don't want to take a TP here. At least get me 75s. Come on. Or 70. 69's the imbalance. Come on. Come on. You're going to make me trim some, aren't you? You're really going to make me trim some. Don't want to get caught on another flush down to 20s. Trimming some before they do it. Can always re-add if it firms up. Oh, they're making my life hard. Needs to hold same level, guys. Same level. Needs to hold the same level. Good hold there. Nice. Got to get back through 65 and 75 though. See this developing here. So I'm long. Some you guys can still play short. If you want to play the short, like I said, you'd want to trim some at 20s and you need to get the break. At the moment, all right, shorts didn't get the break under here. So shorts are trapped under 20s. So I'm trying to use their pain right now just to do this relief to resell. I'll be happy to resell up here, even any stop hunt over this. If we come through 20s, I will not hold this. If we come through 20s, I won't hold. $30s. You're going to do that, aren't you? You're going to knock me out. Why do I just feel like I'm going to get knocked out again? They're bidding 25s. Please hold 20s and push this. Please. Please. Come on, get back above 55s. I want to sell this, so I just want you to go higher so I can sell you. Cannot sell you down here. Come on, back above 55s. Here we go. Nice hold. Come on. Fuck me. Making this so hard. Big seller coming in here. They are absorbing him. They are absorbing him. I want this guy at 35s to move up. Stop flashing down there, you prick. Fucking asshole. Right, this is how I'm seeing it. There's a seller on the tape flashing lower than price constantly. Every time price comes down to that liquidity, he's pulling, hoping he can get that move down. They have just taken those orders off the book. Have they moved lower again? So they've left the 800 lot on and they've moved the 300 lot. I'm just going to check to see if the 300 lot's gone lower. No. All right, so they've completely removed that 300 lot. So 300 lot, that was, what was it, at like 80s? Has gone. Mega games, man. Mega games. I will not hold this under 20, guys. I want to make that clear. I'm looking for relief up. I will not hold under 20. Come on, I need you over 55s and 75s. Battle. It's a battle. I don't want to get flushed on like 100 points plus here. So here comes the 20 test. Gonna knock me out, aren't you? and they're adding 15s. Oh, they're trying to drag it. This might be my last go, folks. I've had a couple goes at this. This might be my last go. If they swipe 20s, then we've probably got enough built out here on the rejection of this point control to move lower. Probably should have just played pro trend lower, but I just refused to sell previous week value area low after a 500-point sell. But here we go. I'm out of this. And there's a good chance we continue to fade now. A really good chance they could just continue to come down here now. Ah, fuck me. No relief. No relief for me to get squeezed, to get good profits. No relief for me to sell. Just a constant drift lower. What are you going to do? Dumping inventory. Dumping inventory. Bull flag on VIX. What, on the 5 minute? I mean... it's something. It's holding a bid. I'm not sure I'd call that necessarily a bull flag, but I mean, it's got a chance. If it breaks that current high of day, which was the old close, you got to understand 1750 was the close from Friday, right? So if it gets above 1750, then you've got relief for a gap fill to 1835, but it's not got above it yet. Back to these 20s again. Seriously, make your mind up. Yeah, I mean, the market will, like, FinViz will be red other than RTY. So we've come back out of tech. The rotation's ridiculous. We rotated out of tech November, December into the Russell, right? Then we rotated this month out of the Russell back into tech. And then today we're rotating back out of tech into the Russell. And surprise, surprise, the metals are getting a bid back up today. So it's just a rotational market. We can see that from where the money's going, back into RTY, back into the metals. We can also see it in how we've gone back into a range and failed to break out. We've reclaimed those 20s again. I don't know if I can be bothered to have one more go at this. Can I be bothered? Maybe. Oh, really? It's always the time when I'm not in it, isn't it? Right, back to 50s again. If we go over 50s, then I'll try and get the trade to 75s, I guess. Here we go. Here's VPOC. See if they go 75s. Here we go. Here's 70s. If we go 75s, I'm looking for 600. Jesus Christ. Here's 70s. Previous week value area low here. If we get acceptance back over this, we should lift to 600. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. They've got my number today, I'm telling you. They've got my number. I'm in a little piece long here, seeing if we can get back over previous week value area low to get into 600. All right, so I'm long, looking to see if we can get back over this. I've already sold some. All right, the question is now, can we do this in this node here and get to here, so on XTP, and then here would be great. All right, so I'm long this from here, TP1, see if we can get this up here for relief. It's counter trend relief because I think we've built out some horrible liquidity here that we need to swipe. And once we've done that, I will look to resell it back down. Right, I don't like, this is not structure I want to really short. Not without a trap in. Not, if we'd done that, I can short it. Same as up here. If we'd done this, 2 leg up, fade that, would have been great. Right, here we go. 75s then, let's see. Can we get going to the 600s now? 89 is a big level, 89.75, just based on what happened earlier today. Big seller there at 89.75. So through 89.75, we go 600. Through 600, we look for an imbalance at 611. Through that, 650s ideally. Counter trend, remember this is a counter trend long, hardest trade in the book we're doing right now. Come on, you got to get through these 75s. Don't want it back below 50s now. There's a node here. Just going to get rid of this, and we can do it like this to make it a bit easier. Right, I want this to hold now. This has to hold for relief. Almost there, almost to the 600s. We're looking good here. Big seller was hit earlier at 90. We got through that seller. Here we go. Come on. 600s. Fucking hell. How many times did this take? I had like 4 or 5 goes at this today. 600s. So here's like a 60, 70 pointer, I guess. And if we can get through this, we're going to get a runner to go through the 11s. So trim some into here, please. And if we get going, we can get 650s. Finally. Jesus. Blasphemy, Alex. Can we get up into here? Oh my gosh. Am I long? Yes. Like I said, I was late to the long. I did say I'm going to get in once we get over VPOC. So long trigger was 50s for me. So I was a bit late to it. If it had done it the first time, I'd be up over 100 points. But I'm up over 50 points now. And we'll see. We can get 100-point trade here. If we lift through this now, there's a move to 650. I'm still holding some, trying to see if we can get up to 650. Can we get up to 650? Here we go. Nodes here into 20. Don't want them to rinse this all the way back down now, so I want to see them really hold 96s, 92s maybe, to get up into this VWAP. If we get through this VWAP, we're going to look for this one up here, and then I will get ready to sell, but I know we're very thin on structure today. So moving my stop up. ES into VWAP here as well. Just be prepared. ES is already into its VWAP. VIX coming down to that pivot I just talked about. It's going to have to hold that pivot. If it flushes through that pivot, then we're going to get a bigger squeeze out here. So needs to hold 92s. Definitely has to hold 75. But ideally, we hold this little node here into 92s. Ideally, they bid this node here. But remember, ES just came into its VWAP. So ES has already tagged this. Just be very aware of that. You should have trimmed some if you're long ES. Or at least paid yourself a partial. Just under these 92s. This is the level. If it doesn't hold here, it's going to test 75s. I won't hold under 75s. There's a big imbalance all the way down to 55. So here's 75 check. Under here, I'm going to leave it. Leave it. I can re-add. If it holds a pullback, I'll re-add. This level here now, key. Has to hold this level now. It's a good hold. So far, it's a good hold. Problem is we have imbalances all the way down to 30 if they actually want to go and fill them. Remember, the pro trend is short. All we've done is swipe out these stops. Didn't get that far. But ES rejected VWAP like we talked about. ES has definitely had a big, big rejection of VWAP. If we hold this blue box, there is a chance for a second leg of relief. If we lose this blue box, then all this was, like we talked about, was a swipe of this for this. So what we'd like is something like this. All right, but if we see this, then that will be a resell back down. I won't be taking that sell. It's too far into discount for me to sell. I will sell if we come all the way back up here somewhere. So you can re-add in this long if this starts to hold, if it starts to hold. Where are those sellers? 55s and 20s. You don't want 20s. It's got to hold 55s. So coming back down for those 55s, this VPOC level, fair value on the day. ES got absolutely crushed off VWAP. So ES doing, again, the nicer move. If we look at ES, right into its VWAP, swept almost everything. Almost everything. NQ making it a little bit more tricky today. VPOC still holding here so far. So they've got to get back above 75s now for a squeeze. For this second leg up. It's possible. There's 75s. Can they squeeze and fill in some of these imbalances from that last sell back down? We've got imbalances into 85 to 92 and 99 and then right back at the high peak, and we can get a second leg higher here. Here we go. Great hold of the blue box. So I really want to see us back through the 90s now if we're going to get a second leg. So sellers will try and defend this in here. Buyers are trying to absorb here. If we get a second leg, we're going to get this move here. And then I'm going to look to fade that move up there probably. Here we go. Nice fill of these imbalances. So I'd be paying yourself. If you're long from the blue, you want to pay yourself some. Why? Because we're counter trend. You want to pay yourself a little bit, move your stop in the money, and then hopefully you get this second leg. Hopefully versus this, right? Same level. Really nice, looking good. Do I look at VIX? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I still want to do some giveaways here, by the way, folks. We've got an hour and a bit left. Here we go. Right, let's get through 600 and start pumping now, please. Let's get the pump. Can we get the pump? Here come the pump. Here we go. Here we go. Right, can we get a second leg now up into our VWAP? Is the question. What am I looking at? Sorry, just see your question. This right here. Well, it doesn't show it very well here, but this was the imbalance. Actually, in this candle on Ninja, I have lots of stuck sellers in that candle. I don't know why it looks so different there, but here, see all these sellers? Sellers. It's a nice hold into VPOC, and see if we can lift up here now. Looks good. Really good. Really good. We're getting second leg here. Really good. Can we get into previous week close, which would be 670s? 670s would be fantastic. 650s and 670s is the target. VWAP as well. We'll respect VWAP as well. Okay. Big level at 50s. So 30s, a little shelf, and then 50s where buyers got stuck. I tell you where sellers came in really heavy this morning, 700s. Sellers came in very heavy at 700s this morning. Right up here. $105 lot of 750s. There really. Let me have a look at him. Oh, I see him. Nice. Thank you, mate. Lovely. Right, still think this one's higher. Move your stop up with this. Protect your profits. Remember, we're counter trend. We're looking for a break really above sort of 740, 750. I'm not expecting too much. If we get to 700s, it would be fantastic. We're just looking for that second leg. ES still can't get through its VWAP. VIX starting to base out in those sort of 1680s. It can afford to come right down into 1664 here, VIX, and find a bid down there. So just be careful. We're in an area where the VIX might want to find a bid. If it does find a bid here, then this move will finish soon. Here we go. Here we go. God, I don't know how many attempts I needed at this. Far too many. Far too many attempts. $630 fib level from what swing? Not from the open. Or are you talking about a 30 fib? New York Open. I think we got a chance to get in here, right? 50% retracement. And it's where the sellers came in this morning. We've got a chance. It's just whether they're willing to do it or not. We look at this. It's these guys here. I want to get into these guys up here. And then I want to think about, can I resell that back down once we get up there? Sorry, it took so many attempts this morning, folks. I don't like picking bottoms. It's not something I want to do, but I'm certainly not going to sell underneath previous week value area low. Not without it drifting higher first. 750 high volume node, yeah, up here. This, remember though, on the, if we zoom out, don't just look at today. Remember, zoom out. Where's the developing week? We can look at some of these areas here. So this is the one you're talking about, I think, JD. But it starts at sort of 700 from the previous week. All right, and then you've got another one into 750. So we have to be respectful of what's happened before, both in this week and previous weeks. Dave Davis, your analysis is worth way more than this. Please keep this stream. It's the best. Thank you, man. Appreciate the tip. Very kind of you. The super chat. Do I think you can re-enter longs? Potentially, but you've just got to remember, we're in a rotation. As long as we hold this, there's potential to move upside. But what I would say is we left a low-hanging fruit down here, all right? We haven't swept IB. We haven't taken previous day low. It's possible they come back for it. I would be, you know, this is a no man's land play right now, right? We were long from here or you're long from here. Maybe if they hold this, you get a continuation up into here. But we will probably want to be thinking about a short up here. If we see buyers get stuck into here, we probably want to be selling that back down, because I'm going to assume lots of buyers will chase this late. And if they chase it late, we'll use their pain. And if we do take that short, all right, if we do lift, right, let's say we lift up here and we see something like this and buyers get caught, we will be covering some into these nodes, all right, maybe like 30% there, maybe a bit more there, and then hoping we go lower, but protecting our profits, because we don't know. At that point, we've built out structure. We're going to have to need to respect the structure we've built out. If we go full reclaim and we don't see any buyers trapped and we start doing this, then obviously we're not going to short it, right? If we start reclaiming this shelf, we can go right back. This is a dramatic move. Like here is very thin. Like that is, look at this. Look how thin we are in here. Right, this is what I talked about earlier. There was no good retest. Like this needed to come a little bit high. ES was a much better looking chart this morning for the short. In my mind, anyway. In my mind. Okay, over 1,200 of you are watching right now. 441 likes. That is not good enough. Come on, guys. I want to do some giveaways. Let's get it moving. ES still rejecting VWAP. Can't get a close over it. Where's our 20-day as well? Where's mean? 772 on NQ, 623 on the QQQ. Thanks for the commentary. I listen while I'm looking at my charts. Yeah, nice. Kurt Clouden, best stream I've seen so far. Thanks, Kurt. Thanks, Kurt. Remember, this is a counter trend squeeze we're in. Right, please remember that if they start losing this blue box, they have unfinished business. If they build out enough liquidity here, they have unfinished business down here that they can come for. We can have a look at the excess at the low. It's not bad. It's actually pretty good. That's not bad. That's not too bad. But, you know, they have reasons to move lower if they want to. If they do this move here, they will move lower. Right now, you're in a counter trend squeeze, relief to potentially come up here. But remember, ES keeps getting stuck. ES has already got to VWAP. There you go. All right, and it's already swept this guy out. So if we think about the liquidity, ES has knocked these guys out. ES has done the perfect move that you'd want to see. Like, it's just so much better. Like, this trade here is way better. Down, 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 push up, fail, New York open, short, big slam. You leave all this alone. There's the squeeze out. There's the target. It's hit its target. So the question now is for ES. If it can't hold this, it will probably collapse down to this old POC. Messy. It's messy. Might be that we're done with this at this point. I'll give it some time at least. Yeah, I'm in right now with a runner just versus here. I sold most in this push. So just a runner right now. If we start losing this, I'll just cut it again. I'm trying to give it a chance. But it's very possible it just snaps. So I'm basing the stops on that in that blue box. The other side, the bottom side of that blue box is my stop. Amateur DJ to trader. How did it happen? Good question. I wanted to do this as a career before my DJ career took over. So I was actually offered a few jobs doing this back in the day. And then DJing was very kind to me. Nightlife was kind to me. I first worked in all the London clubs first, and then had some breakout singles and a big career. Here we go. Still holding blue box. Still look okay for now. Blue box still holding. K-Trade, you're another ex-DJ. What kind of music? Where were ES going? Where is ES going if we start losing momentum? I would say if you look at the pivots, yesterday's open, you'd be looking at sort of 50s and 42, so 950, 942. If you lose that, there's a big block into 930s, and if you lose that, 910s, and if you lose that, 903s, and if you lose that, 864s, right? So if you want to put that into the spiders, you can see this morning we held 90s or in front of 90s. I imagine there's some gamma exposure there. Under 90s, you're probably looking at 87s, and under that, you're looking at 85s again. 85s have been a big level for months and months and months and months and months. Getting ready to cut this at this point. Getting ready to cut this. Don't like what I'm seeing it. You're worthy. No way. I know your stuff. Sick. Are you still doing it? I used to play all your stuff. That was back in the days when I loved that label. It was like you, Justin Martin, Gorp. Still do a bit. Do you still do it with them? Or not so much? I know Barkley sold it, didn't he? That's sick, man. Really cool. I'm trying to think of your records I used to play. I'm going to have a look now. Me, house. I play house. I don't play anymore, really. Are you in North America, Worthy? Still holding this blue box here. Still looks pretty good so far. With all the people here, we could bring a label to life. We probably could. I'm having a look at your Beatport at the moment. Oh, yeah. I remember your Word remix. That was a wicked tune back in the day. That was a long time ago. Super cool, man. Super cool. Good for you. Outside of San Fran. Who'd have thought DJs are big traders? You'd be surprised how many DJs like a bit of exposure to the markets. Okay, failing here. I'm out of this now. Don't want to hold in case there's a flush under this. I can always re-enter. Remember, can always re-enter. But if they flush under this, they'd probably be looking for these 30s. Remember, the 20s has been a big level on the tape all day. And lots of imbalances down here. All right, so we're going to come down, probably fill some of these guys here, potentially down into 20s. They can scoop this. They can trap and scoop this, but I don't want to sit through the pain. Here we go. So we're filling some of these imbalances, potentially down to these 20s now. And this is your big over-under. Look at this big seller still here, 400 lot from earlier. Right, so that delta's still offside. It's not been paired off at all. So that's your over-under. I'd say, technically speaking, all the time we're holding that, technically there are sellers trapped under that, but there are low-hanging fruits to go for under 20, like we talked about this old low. So it's shame we had divergence there with ES. So those of you who do call it SMT, right, there's your divergence. On ES, that took that pivot out and then faded. On NQ, we didn't. NQ's being a pain to trade today. Don't like the CVD. I mean, we're boxed in really on CVD. Did it take that pivot out though? No. Just boxed in. Yeah, probably done with that. That was a couple nice trades there. Not the best, but made some good money on those. They lifted pretty aggressively, which was good. Same level. 20s is going to be the level down here. This block here, we're just going to do this as grey. We're going to use that as our over-under. We can actually increase this size a bit if you want. Make it like to here because they've made it a little bit messy. So if they sell this now, then they're going to attack the 20s. If they lose the 20s, they're going to attack the IB low. Can I look at gold? I can look at gold for you. Yeah, I'll have a quick look. It's getting close to that level I'd be interested in. All right, so gold, no different to anything else. All right, everyone freaked out about it all. Right, higher time frame structure is still good. So here's your base. All right, that's your like ABCD kind of pattern. There's the breakout. Right, breakout. There's your pullback. Have you lost anything? No. All right, so big pullback. I know it's dramatic, but that's a big move up. We expect a big move down. Right, it's start to found a bid. What you'll be looking at now, all right, high time frame people will be looking for, is there going to be failure to follow through? So if we do something like this, right, we're getting up into those areas. If we were going to put, you know, some profile on it from the high, let's just do one from the high, see if it will measure out for us. You're going to give us one? No, you're going to be a pain? Really, you're going to be a pain. Okay. Fucking hell, man. Right, I'd be watching some of these nodes. So we're starting to reclaim. In fact, let me just do this to, that's from the high. Let's do it from the breakout, not you. This guy here. Let's do it from like the breakout here. All right, I'll be watching this. Look at this here. I'll be watching this level here on gold. All right, can we trade up into that? What's that? 5,087 to sort of 5,100. This kind of level here, even from the 50% up to here. All right, traders will be looking to see. All right, those who are adamant that we are done with gold will be looking to see if there's failure to follow through here. That will mean we come up here and that buyers get stuck and they will trade it back down into here. Then they'll be covering some here and then they'll be looking to see if that is actually the top. They would need to see this breakdown here in continuation. If you don't see that in gold, they'd be looking to base here and then reclaim. So it'd just be a squeeze down, a failure to move lower, base out, and then back up. And continuation will be, these will be your targets, higher time frame. So anything's available right now. I wouldn't want to be long here, that's for sure. Long off here was good. Short off here, short off the failure. This move here, failure to follow through, great short. Failure to follow through, great long. But you want to be taking profits here, right? And then seeing if it fails to follow through again, then you're looking to re-short that down. Hopefully that makes sense for you. QQQ might go low, but you don't think we see it today? I mean, there's plenty of time, guys. There's a lot of time left for it to go lower if it wants to. We just have to understand that we probably need a liquidity building out phase for a bit. It's been a big move. All right, let's think about what we've done. The Sunday gap and fade down Monday morning, right? Gap and fade, undercut, reclaim, straight bid up. 3 drives. 1, we talked about this pre-market. 2, 3 drives lost. Backside of that, we wanted this down to here. Would have been nice. Didn't offer it us. We're coming into previous week's value area low. We have a big cluster here, which we expect the market to find a bid from. All right, we have lots of time to do that. It might need, what would be ideal is a pullback into here, which is then resold down into this, and then we can see our buyers. Are there actually buyers down here? Are there actually higher time frame buyers down here? That is a bit like what we just talked about on gold. If we fail to follow through up here, right? If we have these buyers trapped, we have these buyers trapped. All right, if we reject all of these and fail to follow through, we will see lower prices in this market. But there's a big but. We have to be respectful of the daily, right? So if we're going to see failure to follow through, right? Good rejection here. We're going to need to reject somewhere in here, and we're going to need to start breaking down underneath these levels. If we start breaking down underneath these levels, we will get this turn down here. This will come back down. And instead of looking for this here, we will look for this down here into this 200-day, which is getting very close to this. So this is an area of interest right into here at the moment. And then beyond that, we can talk about this as a buying opportunity. Under that, then good night. Good night. Yeah, these are marking up not too bad. 30% pullback would be into and around these 200 days. So anything's possible right now because we're in that choppy range, right? You can see last week failed to break out the highs. Sunday, Monday failed to break out the lows. Most of your range is in here. You can see that by here. All right, this is the rotation until they prove otherwise. They get this, great. They get this, great. In here, well, Alex hates in here. What's BTC doing? Where are we trading at that? 77. So we're getting interesting on BTC as well. We are not at a level yet, but we're getting close. Have we undercut? I want to see this get wrecked. I want to see a mega stop hunt here. And I want to see a measured move in terms of percentages when we think about these dumps that we have after the 1,000-day cycle. That's a 31%. Yeah, into here would be nice. And will that give us a 70 overall, which would be ideal? No, not quite. But I think it's coming. I think we're like here. See, these are like the 70% moves. There you go, 77% in a bear market cycle. This is not unusual. %. All right, so it's possible if they do a measured move down into here. It's possible. It might be like never possible. It's absolutely possible. Because from, I don't know if they can measure this out, but it's too big. That's probably only, it's just a golden pocket. It's very doable. So I'd like to see BTC run these stops and come down anywhere in here. Just start running stops and then see if we can base out for a bit. It's going to take time, guys. Everyone that's looking for BTC. We have 1,000-day, that's 1,000+ days, which is normal for BTC, right? We have 1,000+ days, normal for BTC. 1,000+ days, normal for BTC, and then we normally see a 70+% pullback, right? Pullbacks. We're only just getting started. It started in October. The last one started November 21 and finished so it takes a year. So we can go all the way until October 26, which would be like here. It's very possible that we do some stuff like this. I know everyone's like, the market's different, institutions are different now. I don't know. If we do that kind of move, then I will start buying IBIT. I'm interested now for a trade. If we swipe and do a fail breakout, I'm interested in a trade, not an investment. I'm interested in a trade. We'll see. What do you consider to be more important levels, high volume nodes or low volume nodes? Depend on the setup. High volume nodes obviously is an area of liquidity being built up. That is important level to use as an over under. So like we're starting to get stuck here. When we leave these high volume node, we look to trade through a low volume node. Low volume nodes can act as like resistance or support. So why? Because it's thin, and they'll sell that back down from there. But I like trading from high volume to high volume, right? So if you see all the things that I mark out, if we think about the higher volume nodes on the hourly charts, gray box, blue box, there was a gray box down here. So we trade from high volume to high volume, high volume to high volume, high volume possibly to high volume, right? So I use that as my key levels to trade to, and then you can use lower volume nodes like this right here as like potential trap plays. Watching my live is like a trading course. Yeah, it is. I try and explain. Box to box is previous week low. Down here, yeah, just under it. Yeah, 365. Is that previous week low or is that previous day low? Yeah, it's previous week low. You're right. It's previous week low. Yeah, 365. Lower bold today is 320 on the daily. Market's now gone to sleep. It's digesting. But you can see we're starting to roll over here. So there's a good chance here. So they've done this like multi squeeze up, run the stops, and you're starting to see them use this liquidity now back to the 20s, this same level, remember 20s. And if they lose that, then you can make potentially low of day and a swipe down. 20s is a big level though. So here we are into the 20s. And if we get acceptance lower here, then you expect a new low of day. There were some sellers caught at the 500s. They're getting very aggressive with this. So imbalance here, just above 500s. I would expect this will come and test the 500s, and under that, fresh lows. So you can see this is why we said you don't want to hold if it can't hold this. This is likely. You remember I drew this out. We talked about ideally we would have done this, which is what we did on NQ. And then we've lost this. And this is your short back down. And this is the continuation lower. So if you're in this short, IB low is a target. And then this block down here. Very, very possible right now. This built liquidity to move lower. Can I do this for the full day? I mean, I could, but I'm not going to. I would be exhausted. What are my settings for the anchor? 9:30 starts at the 9:30. I use ticks per row, 2 ticks per row. Yeah, I can bring it up for you. Ticks per row, 2 ticks per row. And I have a width of 20. That's all you need to change. Everything else is standard, other than the color, obviously. So back down to these 500s. This is where there were some sellers caught here a little bit earlier, but we've been very, very heavy, unless they're going to protect these. By the way, you have divergence. ES just took out low of day and initial balance low. So you do have divergence here, just to make it really hard. So NQ couldn't take out the high and couldn't take out the low. Like, they're being very dirty with it. Default VWAP is different. Default VWAP is up here. This is New York. This is default. Do I trade on props? Yeah, I trade props and I trade my own accounts as well. Blue EMA, these are the flow zones. They're all rolling fibs. So this is 72.89. These are 21.34.45, I think, top of my memory. VIX starting to get going. So it held that base on the VIX. Remember we talked about that base being held into sort of 1680, 1675. It's now back up to high of day. If VIX starts squeezing here, it has gap fill potential to 1831 today. Right, while this faffs around for a minute, how are we doing for likes? I want to get up to some more likes here, guys. There's still over 1,000 of you watching. Let's get up to at least 800 and we'll do some giveaways as soon as I get back. I'm going to get a refill from the coffee. Let's get 800 likes and then we'll do some Apex giveaways and some course giveaways. I'm going to set out a new Funded Next giveaway today as well to run for the month. So maybe we'll do that live on stream as well. All right. See you guys in a minute. All right. How are we doing? Mike's barely moved. Awful. Awful. That 20 is still the key level here. All right, let's set up some giveaways. Give me a second, folks, to get this all set up for you. Alex, which do you trust? Trading View volume levels or Ninja Trader? Lol, they're always different. Probably NT. NT a little bit more. The tick data's a bit better on NT. A bit better on NT. How do I read charts and trust my indicators and intuition? Just time and testing, back testing, forward testing, just time. Do I use ATR for something? If yes, what for? And how do I set it up? Yeah, I use ATR on a 1 minute chart. You're going to be like, why does he use it on a 1 minute chart? Just in case I do something stupid like come to the chart and not realize that the ATR is massive on the day. If I see ATR, which is 30, 40, 50, 60 points per M1 and it's staying up there, then I need to seriously size down. And that's what I use it just to like analyze my size. I think we're going to wash here and come and run all these stops like we talked about. So Pops now and starting to fail. At the retest of this level failed again. They're going to come for these lows. All right, so they've stayed heavy versus 20. No real close above this level. All right, they're rejecting this. They're rejecting this. They're coming for these. Like we said, TP is down here for you guys. So TP1 down here. I would take some off in the 20s if you haven't already. And then look for IB low and this down here now for your follow through. While you're holding that trade, for any of you who took that short, I will tell you now, code FZT. Best code to use for all your prop firms other than for Take Profit Trader. Use code FlowZone there. You have another, 2 days left of the Apex sale for 90% off using code FCT. But if you want a chance to win a free account right now, live on stream, just type FZT once in chat for me, and we'll pick a winner at random. I'll give you guys a couple minutes to do that. Guys, another minute or so. Yes, new lower day just then a moment ago, by the way. You've still got divergence playing out down there. Major divergence. VIX rejecting a key level on that last drive up. What is that? Previous week low? Yeah. So, sorry, VIX, QQQ. So the ETFs are rejecting some key levels. And VIX starting to really get going. So if we can break through these 55s and get aggressive, we should trade up to sort of 18. What's that gap, Phil? 18.15 to 18.34 possible on the VIX if they can get going right now. All right, give you guys 10 more seconds here. Please don't spam it. If you've already typed it once, that's all you need to do. You don't need to type it again. Five, four, three, 2, and 1. Winner is 3 for 5 spot shooter. 3 for 5 spot shooter. Are you here? Let me know you're here in chat and I will hook you up. Three for 5 spot shooter. Let me know you're here in chat. Here you go. Here's the break, guys. So you're almost getting that IBL. Should get it. Lots of liquidity down here. So those of you who are short from this 550s, you're looking good. Don't be a dick for a tick. If you have not taken a partial yet, you should take a small partial here. You will want it to stay heavy versus 504-ish right now for continuation. And then you'll be looking for the expansion model as we start to really push through some of this liquidity we've built. On the current week, though, we're going to have to be careful. I would say, yeah, we're into like an edge into these sort of 470s. If you get through 470s, there is a really, really, really good shot of going 400s. Oh, there you are. 3 for 5 spot. Okay, I'm going to make a note of your name. Congratulations. All I want you to do is send me an email, please. info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged into your YouTube so I know it is you and not someone pretending to be you. And I will sort you out with a free Apex account. We've got about 25 minutes left. So we'll do another giveaway. We'll do a course giveaway in the next sort of 10 minutes or so. checking a couple of emails here. Some of you got in touch. So drifting back up. If they don't reject this now, it squeezes back on for a failed breakdown here. Sorry, let me just sort this out for this guy. There we go. Same levels as earlier, guys. Exactly the same levels. Exactly the same levels. Thomas, if you're on stream, I'm just replying to you now. Yeah, I don't know. Some of you are still entering. It's done, guys. We did the giveaway. We've done the giveaway. Alex, can you explain one of your methods when you say big buyers or sellers are stuck? Show example as to what you're looking in the chart for a signal. Yeah, I'm using footprint. All right, so you could use it here. All right, and I'm looking to see stuff like this where we get excess. All right, so this big seller came in here. They didn't get their target down here. They want their target. If we now do not trade underneath this level here, right? If we protect that level, then this seller 754 delta will remain stuck. All right, so buyers will want to protect into here and try and bid back up. If they're unable to do that and this seller gets back in control, we will trade lower. But right now he is in pain, and if we protect this, it's possible you can see this imbalance holding. If it's imbalance that you would not see on any other chart, it is holding. We just filled this imbalance. If they protect this seller here, all right, then we'll use his pain to try and lift higher. That's the kind of thing I look at on a lower time frame. If you're talking about like delta, you would need like a different, as in delta formed, you would need a different indicator like this here. I can see big selling delta here. I can see big selling delta here. Or if you don't want to use that and you want to use Bookmap, I can take you up to Bookmap. How would I use it on Bookmap? I would use this here, right? Volume, profile, delta. If we have a look at the low of day, or if we have a look, where was the big sell lot that I kept saying to you today? 520, right? 520 was a huge level we've talked about. If we scroll up here and come to 520, you will see right here, there was a 415 lot offside, 520, 415 lot offside. So that means at some point today, 415 lots were sold at the market, right? A market order sell. So if we get back above them, then you have those sellers and everyone below stuck. It's a third-party app that I use for that. It is called Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks. But it's basically delta volume. It's basically the same volume profile delta, but it's shown as like a profile rather than as a number as I have it here. So you can see also on Bookmap, you can see here at 500, you can see there's a 258 lot standing out at 500. No worries. I make it seem easy. I don't know if I make it seem easy. I think it's not easy, guys. Like anyone told you trading's easy, it's not. I had this chat in Discord yesterday. Some of my members in Discord are starting to have real breakout moments, whether that be some of them passing evals for the first time, some of them taking payouts for the first time, some of them taking record payouts, going on record wins. There is no substitute for time. There just isn't. The 10,000 hour rule, it's real. All right. Once you've got your method, once you understand what you're trying to learn, it's just about going back and learning it and looking at the same thing and the same thing and the same thing. Can you spot the people who are trapped? Can you spot the key levels that we want to trade into? Can you use their pain to trade the other way away from them. Can you see a signal of a whale in the market? Can you join it? It takes time, guys. It really takes time. Okay, so you can see right now, 520 and 500 rotation. Right, no close under 500. We know there's a seller stuck at 500 and 520. All right, 500 and 520 rotation. This is the build out. So through here, we lift to here. Under here, we jump, run these stops and probably come down into here. This is the build out. Remember, the pro trend currently is down. We caught the counter trend squeeze up. I missed all the shorts today, unfortunately. Couldn't get a short trigger. Even this, I would have liked it a little bit higher. Arguably, I could have taken this short here. I knew it's very high probability, but it just goes against my rules of trading near low of days. All right, I'd much rather see this base and squeeze out and then offer a short somewhere up here. It would be much better. Oh, don't move that. I'm going to need that. Okay, so back to the 20s again. You can see this rotation over and over and over again. I've been a member for almost a year now, and I'm still learning every day. Thanks so much for the value, Alex. You're welcome. You're welcome. So I feel bad today, guys, because we wanted the short. We talked. If you go back to the stream, we wanted the short under here if it retested. We wanted the short under here if it retested. I feel bad, guys, that, you know, after last week of having multiple amazing days, all we needed was this to come up here or this to build out a bit nicer. And the same here. This to just do this. Right, I don't like chasing these kind of moves. Look how aggressive that is. We moved from almost 800 to 550 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes. I mean, very hard when we do that to be involved. What are the clouds again? They're called the flow zones. They're just if you just do rolling fibs, they're just rolling fibs. So this is my momentum cloud. This is showing you current momentum. This is deep pullback. This is based on fibs, deep pullback. So you can see we came into the deep pullback, we failed. We came into momentum, we failed. We flipped the clouds here this morning after being a big pump and then sideways. So big pump and then sideways, and we're repricing this whole move from yesterday, which now means we've left all these players trapped. Have we revisited it? No. The revisit would have been here, and we would have played that down. We just didn't revisit it. It's annoying. Very, very, very annoying when the market does this. More of your confidence level and understanding all the dynamics of the market. Your skill is next level. I'm trying to absorb as much as I can. Just keep showing up, man. I've been doing this a long time. A long time. I'd say my trading has got significantly better the last few years, but there's still so much room for me to improve as a trader. It's insane. I think as long as we're never arrogant in the market or at all in life, and just understand that, you know, we're here for a short time on this earth, and our job is to learn as much as we can and be better at what we do, whether that be your job, whether that be as a partner to someone, as a mother or father, as a brother or sister, as a colleague, as a friend, as a human being. We can always do better, right? We can always do better, and you never stop learning. The moment you think that you know it all, well, you will be humbled, whether it's by the market or by someone else. Still the rotation, 500 to 520, still the rotation. Nothing's changed here. Did I have a down phase in this game? Oh yeah, I got absolutely cooked, or more like cucked, during the early days of COVID. Oh yeah. So during those days, I was playing 2 to max 3 standard deviation shorts on small caps. All right. So back in the day, a small cap would normally move 2 to 3 standard deviations. Prior to COVID, that's what you'd see. So you'd see a news release in the morning. So news release would come out and it'd say, this company's cured cancer. All right. And it would be up, I don't know, 100%, 200%. And it would be past a 2 standard deviation. Right. And you'd be like, all right, well, that's bullshit. This thing is covered in warrants. They've got so many people stuck in this. I'm going to short it. And it worked for a very, 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 very long time. And then COVID happened, and then retail got stimulus checks, and then we stopped going 2 and 3 standard deviations, and we started going 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 standard deviations. And Alex got fucking cooked in that numerous times, and it wasn't prop firm. I lost $20,000 more than once on some of those moves, right? So I got absolutely wrecked, and I had to really get off the market, or not off the market, but I had to like really reanalyze my trading, work out what was not working, where I'd gone wrong. I had to scrap that whole way of trading. I had to stop picking tops, although you have to really pick tops on small caps because you don't have much room to play with. But I started playing more failed follow through, and then I started developing like an EMA system to try and help, and yada 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 yada. All right, but don't think I didn't lose. I'd lost a lot of money, a lot of money. Am I looking long? Not yet, not yet. We've had the long relief, right? We've had the long relief. We're just in a. There's nothing to do yet. Look, we're in a rotation, 20 to 500. We just talked about it, right? We're in a rotation here to here, and sellers can still protect this. All right, this still has low-hanging fruit down here to come and take. If we get back above all of this, all right, then we can think about that relief, right, to come and run these out. But you want to be careful right now picking bottoms down here, right, because the main move is in a sell, right? There's the sell, there's the first pullback. You could argue that that's pathetic. That's the first pullback, all right, and they've sold it. I think they want to run these stops and come down into here like we've talked about, which is what you're starting to see. When did I get into futures? Maybe 4 years ago, 3 years ago. What are we now? 2026? 3 years, maybe 3 years ago. I moved from small caps to mid caps, from mid caps to large caps, from large caps to ETFs. That was my journey, right? And then I moved to futures. I still trade large caps and ETFs. That's still a big source of income for me. But I do that as a swing position. We like the low-hanging fruits. Yes, we do. We do like the low-hanging fruits. What's the fib cloud? These are my clouds. This is everything you see here is from my system, right? So Flow Zone System Pro. So it's clouds, it's Globex levels, it's opening range, it's initial balance, it's multi-time frame trend, it's daily and weekly levels. All right, here's the lift back to 20s again. So still in this rotation until they decide what they're going to do with it. Nothing has changed. Still we build. Do I talk about swing positions in the course? I don't think I really do. Maybe in the foundation course. The principles are exactly the same, but if you do the 20-hour course, what I do have is a swing position right here. So like my swing investments are in here, right? So when I'm looking at stuff, you can see talking about them here. Like UUUU and USAR. USAR found a bid here this morning. So I'm interested in this versus 20s. You can see, all right, I'll show you. We found a bid on the back test. All right, I've alerted everyone to this. We found a bid on the back test of 20s. So we broke out. It's the same thing, right? We broke out. We come back. We held 20s. Can we get up back into here? If you look at what I said, I got my eye on UUU. If holds 20s, same with USAR. If pullback holds yesterday's investment from the government, you can see it here. And then I think I might have re-mentioned it yesterday. Here you go. So these are both starting to come in now, so going to watch how we react here. So looking for longs on these now to see if we can continue this and take this out. All right, so this is a macro event and it's a swing position. So there you go. There's a freebie for you guys of what I'm looking for on some of my swing positions. But yeah, that's all comes as part of the Discord. I'm kind like that. I'm kind like that because I want people to make money. I want people to have financial freedom. All right, 20s to 500s is maintaining the rotation. Nothing has changed here, folks. Same thing. We're boxed in and basically a 20-point range. No, unfortunately not. There's no access to Discord in the order flow course. It's only for the 20-hour course. Only because in the order flow course, I teach you how to read profile, delta, divergence, stuck traders, all this stuff, right? Footprint, bookmap. But the bread and butter setups of understanding structure and what we're looking at, that all comes from the 20-hour course. If you do the order flow course and you haven't done the 20-hour course, there's a chance that you might trade a different way to the traders who have done the 20-hour course. And if you put all of that in one community in a Discord, what it means is you've got people taking the other side of trades, and then it can sort of rattle you in your position where you think, oh, I'm not going to take that now, and then it goes your way and you get frustrated. So the only reason is I want everyone to be able to support each other. Is ATR the best way to consider stop limit size or key levels? Hard 80 tick stop biting me. Yeah, so ATR will help you understand the potential move. So like the spikes today, we've traded like up to 80 points ATR. I'd say your average on the day is about 31. Your stops should be when where the trade is no longer valid, right? Where the trade is no longer valid. So for example, you can use volume. So if you were short here on the breakdown, your stop should be the other side of this volume. So if you took this one, you would have got stopped out. But if you had another go, you would have got it. And we're almost at that low now. And if we run these stops, you're looking to cover into here, right? So you can use, for example, key levels. You can use volume for protection, right? So if you're short here, you can put your stop the other side of it. Here you go. So TP1 now hit. So congratulations to those that took this. This IB low now hit. And then you're looking for a drift now into this blue box and potentially all the way down into here. But you should be covering some of your position. They are adding liquidity lower, so there's a good chance we can continue to drift lower here. SPY still has levels it can go and hit as well, but we are coming into big levels of interest across the market here, folks. I've got a feeler. Is it Jay? Jay, I've got a feeler on USAR long that I put on this morning. And I'm looking, if it starts to base and hold, I'm going to add more position size in there. Unfortunately, it came out with news this morning before I got the chance to put it on. So I think there was Trump news on metals again today. So I am long USAR, but I'm not positioned into big size yet. So I'm just waiting. I haven't actually looked at uranium since this, but I'd imagine the same thing. Yeah, so dips holding 20. Remember, the call was for dips to hold 20 on the swing. Boom, there you go. All right, literally perfect. So we didn't buy up here once we saw the breakout to 28, where I said, if dips hold 20, we'll get long. So I'd now be looking for dips down into anywhere down into here, and I'll start to accumulate a long position for a hold back towards all-time highs in these, right? I think you might be in Discord, Jay, so maybe that's helped you. All right, so just be careful here, guys, because we've just hunted those stops. You're back into this same volume shelf here as your over-under. Starting to come and retest this same level. So if we start at pop above 20s now, there might be relief back up to 50s, but it's up to you if you really want to dangle down here or not, you know. 5 minutes until lunch. We'll do a course giveaway as soon as we hit lunch. I like TPO because the volume gives you a clue as to when the auction is over. For instance, we have a volume of 163 at the low period, so we will drive lower as there's so much volume. For me, TPO is more useful for seeing time spent than volume. What do hunting stops do? Pair off liquidity. Pair off liquidity. So you got to think the big boys in the market. If you want to be a big buyer in the market, let's talk about a market maker or a bank. All right. So let's say someone wants to buy 1,000 lot. All right, they can't just come in and buy 1,000 lot. Right, they need, if they want to buy, this one's the buyer, this guy's the buyer. They need what? They need someone who's willing to sell 1,000 lot. Right, and they won't always have that ability to do that. So what's the best way of doing it? Well, if lots of buyers have come in here and bid up and they just got stopped out there, then in this stop out, if their stop is here, what happens? If you're a market buyer, or if you've been a buyer in this market here and you stop out, you become a seller. So then you get your 1,000 lot sell, and the guy can limit order in 1,000 lot buy and get filled without it affecting the market, right? And that's just an example, but that is why they hunt stops, because they can use the stops to pair off to get the directional move that they want. Remember, the market will not move unless there's both a buyer and a seller. It will not move otherwise, and you need an aggressive buyer and a passive seller, or an aggressive seller and a passive buyer. If you've just got two passive participants, that would mean that you have, you know, a limit order here, a limit order here, spread in the middle. No one is going to pair off. No one's going to pair off. All right, back towards these 20s again. So the same thing over and over and over and over. Nothing is changing. $649 on ES is not the low. That's my prediction. Okay. I'm not watching ES, but you might well be right. I mean, I would say SPY into 690, and obviously that old weekly low down at 89.40s on SPY is possible still. Did I take any trades today? I did. The main one was this long here. I had a few attempts at it. I was like long here to here, long here to here, and I finally, where did I come in? Was it a reclaim of 30s or 50s? I can't remember. Here to here, and then a little piece of that, and then that was it. I wanted to get up into here and then fade it back down. Missed the shorts today. Wanted the shorts, was prepared for them, didn't get the retest of the level I wanted, unfortunately. Alex, do you have a particular time of day for trading in the afternoon session, or is it based on price action and location? I would say definitely on price action and location. Try and avoid lunch, but sometimes lunch is good. It really depends on the volume and what's moving the market. Same for you. Yeah, it was annoying today. It was annoying. All right, back to these 20s again for the millionth time today. So if they lift through 20s, they will try and lift to 50s again. All right. If they fail the 20 rotation, they will come back down to these lows again. So nothing's changed. So I'd say buyers will want to protect sort of 10s here. And if they can protect 10s, they can potentially get a move up to 50s. And then you will see if they get going. Otherwise, we can just keep trading lower. We're just in a 20 to 500 rotation. But we did wick the low, which is a good sign for buyers. But again, into these 20s, big level. We've talked about it all day. It's a huge level where we had like a 400 lot seller earlier in the day. So there you go. They just resold the 20s again, back down to these 500s. Rotation, 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 rotation. Nothing's changing. Absolutely nothing's changing. Yeah, exactly, Julian. Yesterday, just straight rip, wasn't it? Straight up yesterday, straight down today to reprice it all. It's tough when it does it. It's tough. It's fine if you're already positioned. I'd say the best sell of the day really was like 8 a.m. this morning. That we pulled back at 8 till 7 a.m. and then we pushed up 8 a.m. and we failed to make a new high. So we set that lower high. Here, get you guys. Where is it? We set that low. I can't find you guys now. We set that lower high up here on an hourly after 3 drives. So I wasn't at my desk here. So 1, 2, 3, lower high, failed to make a new high. That was the break. But since then, not much we can do with that on an hourly, honestly. Pretty tough. Pretty tough. For the big circles, for me, I'm using a third party, but you can do it for free on NinjaTrader. If you are trading with NinjaTrader and Tradeify Prop, or have a personal account with them, you can get the big bubbles for free. If you go to my YouTube, I'm going to find it and post it for you. If you go on my YouTube, I show you how to get all this stuff for free. Let's find it now. Order flow. Here we go. There you go. This link here. What do I mean by 20s? Here, 20s, 520, 20s, 20s. I'm not going to say 520 every time, all right? 20s. All right, so back down to the lows again. And which one of you said SPY likely or ES going to make a new low? You look highly likely right now to be correct. That previous week low is still hanging down there. Very, very possible. So if they reject 500s here, you'll probably see follow through. If they reclaim 500s, we'll go back to the 20s again for the gazillionth time today. And we're into lunch now as well, folks. Just be aware of that. I'm using MZ Pack Free Big Trade. There you go. So must have one as well. Pass a combine. Congratulations. Congratulations. All right, let's get you guys a free course. Give me a second to set it up. Please don't do anything yet. It's just an introduction to trading course. This is only good for people who have never really traded before. If you know nothing, it's a good one to do. All right, so just type course once in chat and we'll pick a winner in the next couple minutes. One of you saying, why is NVO pooping itself? What's NVO? Let me have a look. Nordisk. Did it have earnings or something? Weight loss drug outperformed. Make trials achievement. Sales decline. So their guidance, sales decline. That's why. I'm getting wrecked off that news. So guidance bad by the looks of it. Let me have a look for you. NVO cut 2026 outlook, guiding to adjust sales and operating profit down by 5 to 13%, well below the expectations of 10% growth. So you've got like a 23% offset, right? So that's why your guidance was poor. Very poor guidance. Give you guys like one more minute. Una mas. I'm going to get some breakfast. You can probably hear my stomach rumbling as always. Okay, pulling the winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna say this name wrong. I know I am, so I apologize. Soyjav, I can't do it. Soyjav Isiera. Let me know you're here. It's been announced in chat, so you can see if it's your name. It would have added you. Let me know you're here. If you have, I'll send you a link to the free course. Can you do a TPT evals in 2 days and then do a little? Yeah, you can. So you can pass in 2 days and then just basically just trade a micro for the next 3 days. There you go. All right, congratulations. I'm making a note of your name. You've won a free introduction course. Nice. All I want you to do is email me, please, info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged into YouTube, and I will sort you out with a free introduction course. Do you do live trading and which session? Well, yes, right now, New York session. Scott, no, I'm naughty. I have a bit of half and half in my coffee, mate. Soy Javier Sierra. Soy Javier Sierra. Alex, what functionalities does City Footprint provide to you that you really like? Well, other than the standard footprint and the order, I just like the delta on the side. I really like the delta on the side of it, and it's very customizable. So I have a cumulative delta on the bottom, but I have the delta profile on the side. Here you go. So snapping down lower, so rejected 20s again, then rejected to reclaim 500s here, now lows, and low-hanging fruits continues to be down here. This can continue to move lower if it wants during lunch. It looks like they are still not done with it. They are just forcing this thing lower and lower and lower at the moment. And there's bids down here at 450s. Maybe they come all the way down there. How long did it take me to become profitable? Swings were profitable fairly quickly. Day trading took some time. I was really doing well in small caps, like I said, until COVID. And then that knocked me off for a little bit. Scott, you make me laugh. Alex, you think it would come down to 200s, which was overnight Sunday? It's possible. It's possible, but you need to respect where we are. There's a lot of volume on the current developing week where we are right now. A lot, right? So if we get under that, there's a node from the week dating back to Monday, the 19th of Jan. We have to respect the levels, right? So there's a node dating back to 19th of sort of 450s. Under 450s, we have like a little bit of a gap. We get a bit thin into 400s. 400s is really thick all the way down to 120. It's really, really thick from that week of Monday, the 19th. Have to respect it. Have to respect it. Like, is it possible? Yeah, of course it's possible. But all we've really done, if you think, we broke out, well, we didn't break out. We drove high yesterday. We've repriced it today. Nothing's actually changed. We're still in range. To come back for previous week low, is it possible this week? Yes, but what we'd need to see is more liquidity being built out on a higher time frame. And we'd need to do it long enough that the Bollinger Bands can offer expansion, because at the moment we are so tight, folks. Like, the top bowl is currently trading at 26,230. The bottom bowl is trading at 25,300. It's a 900 point move of 4 standard deviations. Remember, 20-day, 2 standard up, 2 standard down. Normally, you're looking at, let's have a look, 26,600. Normally, you're looking at 2,000 points plus. Currently, we're looking at 900 points for a 4 standard deviation move from top bowl to lower bowl. Right, so there's not a lot here. We will get out of this at some point. We cannot keep rotating, failing. Eventually, something's going to change. Oh. All right, any questions, folks, before I get out of here? I'd be very careful about looking for any more shorts now. All right, so you had the short opportunity here and here, down to this. That's your TP1 hit. If you get down to here, great. Be very careful. Look at all of these nodes, right? Respect these nodes. Respect this. Respect this. If they start reclaiming this, this can happen. It can offer relief. Look how thin we were. All right, it can offer relief. It doesn't have to happen today. It can happen tomorrow. If you're going to hold your shorts, if you were in here, or hopefully some of you are in from all the way up here, you can look for these targets down here. Maybe you get lucky, but you know, just understand we're at 1.40% down on the day. This was the only pullback that we've had so far. You know, you can sit in this and try and manage it, but don't be entering short down here, for goodness sake. Okay, do not be doing that. Do not be doing that. Right, back towards these 500s again. Same bloody level over and over. 500s, if they get through 500s, we go 520. VPOC has moved down here. I'm going to sit with you for a couple more minutes. Do you think volume profile from TradingView is good enough to use? Yes, I do. Do I mentor one-on-one? No, I don't. I literally don't have the time, but we do group sessions. The look of the candles doesn't matter for you after all the info you can get right. The shape matters. Yeah, the shape matters. Like, I'm not watching footprint all the time, and like my brain would be exhausted. Like, structure matters, volume matters, but price matters more than anything else. Structure and price and volume. Question about your delta column on Bookmap. I have a quote delta, but that's it. Is there another name? You mean this one? This is volume profile delta. How do I set that up? Is it a right click on here? I can't remember how to do it. It will be configure add-ons. Okay, here. I'm going to try and bring this over for you. I think it's here. How do I change the columns on this? Maybe I've got that wrong. Visible columns. Here you go. Visible columns. Volume profile delta. That's what you want. Volume profile delta. I can go over bar in a minute. Yeah. Any sort of long trigger is still all the way back above the grey box. I mean, you could be very skeptically play one from here to here, but the safer bet is once we leave all of this trap, because we'll keep rejecting this and we can pop over and reject. Just remember, the main trend is down and they have stuff to come forward. It would be very tricky to look for anything else. When do I trade ES? I don't really trade ES. How important is having a heat map to my trading style? It's useful. I don't necessarily need it. I like using the limit orders and the delta on it. It's useful for momentum though. Where is the bounce? Well, it doesn't have to happen. There's the wash. There you go. So they're coming down for this now, folks, down here. So they're starting to get aggressive here. Look at these big guys selling. Hard selling here. This is no joke. Into the blue box. This is not a joke. Hard selling. That's why I say I wouldn't be long until we got above all of this. This is the level that they're looking for. This is very aggressive. Previous day low now hit, or previous week low now hit on the SPY. Not hit on the NQ yet. VIX about to close that gap, right? So here comes the spike. VIX about to close that gap. You got wicked out right before it. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. I am sorry to hear that. So here, the next level. So all this liquidity being built, and they're starting to drive blue box, and then here, and if you get really lucky, you'll trade underneath all this. What's their news? Are you guys saying their news? US House struggling to advance major federal funding bill. Voting continues. Remember, SPY hit previous week low. It's already taken it. Just be aware of that. It's already taken it. Buying the 20-hour course, is there a discount for the V volume profile course? Yeah, you can buy it as a bundle. So if you go to the 20-hour course, you will see it's available as a bundle. All right, there's an imbalance here at 30 that they're trading up to. Through 30, they can actually lift this to 60. Through 30, they could actually lift it to 60 because we got very thin. I wouldn't be buying this, but I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. Through 30, they could actually lift this to 60. Here's 30. No base above. Still got low-hanging fruit. Like I said, I would not be buying this. This is very heavy. US shot down Iranian drone. Okay, great. So we're going to go into war with Iran. Fantastic. Honestly. Any of you shorting this from up here still, by the way? That's really good now. You're up 130, 140 points. Interested if any of you got it. Patience pays. Yes, patience absolutely pays. Made all your money back, all your losses back with this one. Nice. Oh, nice, Matt. Yes, some of you still in it. Fantastic. Just make sure you're paying yourself on the way down. But this is the target, really. If you can get down here, you'd be super happy. But we do get thick here. Like I said, dating back to Monday the 19th, that week, we get very, very thick down here. Last time we came down here before the Sunday open, you can see we wicked down into 369 and found a bid. So just be careful. VIX previous week high soon. Well, it's just filled that gap, hasn't it? It's got a little way to go. It's got to get up to almost 20s. But it's into a big area. It's a big pivot here on the VIX. It's a big pivot. Okay, sellers trying to come in here. If they don't get their way, there is a rip back up to 60 coming. If they don't get their way soon, they keep piling in here, the sellers. It's very thin. See this? Very, very thin. Sellers need to protect this right here. So you can see this profile here. Sellers need to protect this. If they don't, there's a rip right back up here. Still low hanging fruit. Again, I'm not telling you to be long. I'm just telling you what's going on right now. I would not be long against all of this. This is heavy, heavy tape. I feel like they want that previous week low. It's kind of unusual. They haven't already gone and done it straight away. Financial juice, best for the news. So back to these 30s. Remember, it's a shelf here. If they rip through this, be careful if you're shorting this. You don't want this to just rip through 30s to come to 60 and 70s. You'd be very upset if you give the whole thing back. Well, not the whole thing, but like a good chunk. Because it can. Look how thin we are here. It can come up here. Can reprice this candle. Be very careful, please. And watch your ATR, because the ATR on that drift down was like 83 points. And they can reprice it very quickly. Hey. VIX getting stuck after that gap fill. So VIX has done everything we wanted to see. When will it finish is the question on the VIX. When are they done with it? Right, these 30s, be careful. Be very careful if they rip through here. Be very, 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 very careful if you are in this short. They can rip this straight back up to 60s and 70s. Be very careful. You're so thin up here. If they get going here, it'll be really nasty. Here they go. They're starting to try and get through these 30s now, and they can lift all the way up here. Look, there's nothing here. They can fill this whole imbalance. How do I see VIX? I have it on my monitor here. Here you go. He's coming up to 50s, and his imbalance starts at 58 to 65, so that you know. And they're going to fill this imbalance. Be very careful. Here you go. I would have been out this short personally. I hate seeing stuff like this, because if they get too many shorts caught down here, even though I don't like the low of day auction, it's very, very possible now. Here you go. So into that imbalance. There's the rip back up that we just talked about. Said that might happen. There you go. Just happened. Gross. Absolutely gross. And the question is now, do they resell this area? Sellers came in where 26 is down there. So you can use this same kind of node here. This kind of node here now. All the time we're moving. I don't mind staying here with you a little bit longer. All the time we're moving. Normally we go to sleep over lunch. Still low hanging fruit below, but we've just held that grey box. So they might try and re-attack these 80s. If they fail that grey box, we will trade lower. We will trade lower if they fail this grey box. We will trade back down into this. So this will just be a reprice to sell into. such a heavy tape today. Insane. Back down to the 400s, losing the grey box, so I would expect them to trade lower at this point. They've done the hard job, repriced, sold into it. So the hard thing for day traders, when they're moving it this much, it makes it really hard to hold on to positions because you can get caught so quickly. Like when they rip it 80 points, if you guys were short, you don't like, you've got to take some profits when they do those moves. You know what I mean? They might just dump this now, like even further, having knocked you guys out by like a 50-point rip up. Like, well, how big's that rip? From 403, yeah, 50-point rip up, and then maybe dump it more. It's just, they make it really hard for day traders. Buyers coming in here, they're probably going to get themselves caught. They're flying in here, these buyers. They will probably get themselves caught here. Yep. Fucking idiots. Why would they buy that? So low-hanging fruit down here, still yet to get tagged. I tell you what, I'll go for a P and come back, and then maybe you tag it. All right, what are these guys doing? Messy. Can't imagine those bids hold up. Still want 392, one of you saying. 392. I would want 365 if I was short. This is starting to find a bid. This is starting to find a bit of a bid down here. That grey box, it's messy for sure. Still got an imbalance up to 64, which they can fill. If it starts reclaiming IB, I'd be very, very worried about a big squeeze. Holding grey box. Back up towards IB then. So 55, 60 to 65 is the imbalances. Back up we go through that. Watch IB now if they start to base over it. Into the imbalances here. Just got tagged into these. All right, into these imbalances here. This is where we came big selling. If we start to print over this, all right, it means we're probably going to leave this excess and drift higher without taking out the low-hanging fruit, which would be really dirty. Really dirty, but SPY did hit it. It's one thing to note. SPY did hit that previous week low. So divergence with the ETF, SPY did come and take it out right here, and it's reclaiming it. So I'd probably be done with a short if I was you guys. Doesn't mean it can't trade lower, unless if you're positioned way up here. Obviously, it's different. But if you took that wash down, be very careful. Right off the previous week low on the SPY, yeah, not on the Qs though. On the SPY, but not on the Qs. VIX failing that level as well after that gap fill. So we have nailed what we called on the VIX today. That's really good. Morgan, where did you close your short, Morgan? They're lifting again into these imbalances. Into these imbalances towards that value area low and IB high. So they're coming towards this. Do they reject this level now? Is your question, right? If they reclaim this, there's a big squeeze to come and run all of this out. Just be careful. If they reclaim this, there's a big squeeze. I'd say 500 would be the level, and then up into that same block again. So I'd be watching these levels now for the remainder of the session. If this slows down, I'm going to get off, guys. I'm willing to sit here while it's moving, but not other than that. Took it at 558, close at 500. Took it at 558. Guys, here's the IB, guys. Rejecting value area low so far, not quite to IB. So big rejection there. Sellers stepping in there. This is where they sold from earlier, remember. If we get through this, then I'd imagine we get to 500. This can be a two-leg that they resell, remember. So buyers will want to hold 431s. They can't hold 431s, new lows. This can be a two-leg retest, which is sold, or they can reclaim this and squeeze to here and then here. That's the opportunity in the market right now. If I sat an alert looking for a long wheel, I want it. Mate, it's quite hard to want that right now. You'd want to reclaim it. What's made it hard is this. They've made this so thick and messy that, like, where are you going to long? Really, you want to get above that and leave all this. And I feel like they're going to struggle to get above that today. We're in the move is downside. They're selling absolutely everything. So I don't think you can set an alert. Like maybe if you come above 578, but like what's your risk going to be at that point? That's what's going to make it really hard. Okay. Huh? All right, darling. Love you. Yeah. Alex, when do you mark the grey zone? Sunday. Oh, well, these ones I've just marked now. I mark them as I go. Yeah, Sunday, morning prep each day. Depends if they've moved. Sounds like a good plan to me, Hot Tub Mike. That sounds like a pretty good plan. So back to this grey box again. And this can be a two-leg. They rejected IB. They can sell this back down if they want. It all depends if they can hold this grey box or not. Let me have a look if there's any more news. No, that's it. All right, folks, I'm going to be done. There's nothing for me to do here. The weakness in NQ is palpable. It's annoying that I would have preferred some squeezes higher to clean out liquidity. If we could just have come up here a little bit, it would have offered a really nice short. This is a big, fat B-shaped profile. So we've gone from a big P to a big B. I mean, it's big P to a big B. I mean, that is the shittest market you can get, basically. One side to the other side, one side to the other side. Just schizophrenia in a range. There's not much left to do. If you're in a short, just manage it all the way down, and hopefully it works for you. Personally, I wouldn't long unless we reclaim big volume shells, and we're not doing that right now. So you would be going against the grain if you do that. We already did giveaways. All right, we've done them all. I've sat here 30 minutes longer to see if the market wants to move. It's probably going to just keep selling down at the moment. There's no reason to be long right now. Yeah, exactly. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Yeah, that's exactly what the market is. All right, folks. Big love to everyone. Trade safe this afternoon. Please don't guess the lows. Don't get yourself stuck. Don't give away like all the hard work we did last month. Yes, the market's rotating 900 points. Whoopie fucking do. Like, let it do it. Who cares? Like, we missed some trades today. Who cares? The market's going to be here tomorrow. It really doesn't matter. It does not matter. All right. Peace and love, everyone. Look after yourself. Use hard stops. Be kind to each other. All that good stuff. And I'll see you here tomorrow morning.